fantastic. We're just as equally excited to be having you here with us. I mean, it's not every day that we get to have this big a family sitting together and having a conversation about something so vital and important. It's like the backbone of the survival of mankind on this earth. So it's just a pleasure to have you all.
And blessings, everyone, and Lindley and the ADDI family. I'm Vivian Stewart from Charlotte, North Carolina, and it is always wonderful to see my family in the African diaspora.
Thank you very much, and very welcome.
Shalom.
Yes,
this
hello,
is
Barbara.
Hartung from the African Hebrew Israelite in Atlanta, Georgia, under Prince Ram. And I'm so glad to be a part of this conversation. Thank you.
Very welcome, Barbara. And how is Atlanta today?
It's overcast, cloudy, a perfect day for working in the garden, which is what I'm doing in the outside and on the broadcast with you.
Sister Barbara, it's so good to hear your voice. It's so good. This is Fatia, Nana
Yes.
Atwa.
Atwa, thank you.
Shalom, shalom. Yeah. This is Atul Benaya from the British Isles. It's a pleasure to be part of this collective. I certainly look forward to the contributions of the hosts and all those main guest speakers. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Very welcome, Atul.
Thank you.
Good morning, it's Gail Marie from Redondo Beach, California.
Thank you, California. Could everybody mute yourselves if you're not speaking, please, so we don't have any background noise? Thank you.
Hello.
Yes,
hello, this is Charles Brown.
Hi, Charles. Welcome.
This is Charles Brown from Stone Mountain, Georgia, originally from Liberia. And I'm excited to be a part of this body because it embeds a lot. I recently sent you an email and we look forward to all contributions. There's a lot more that we can do. And I'm also excited that we can all come together as a team. And once again, Her Excellency, I want to say a big thank you to you for even bringing out this idea, even though it has been long coming. So we'll do the best we can and to support everything that you do. And thank you again.
Very welcome, Charles, and thank you very much for linking up and connecting with ADDI, the family. And we're so pleased and just excited to have everybody on board. And naturally, we'll be looking forward to seeing how we can partner and collaborate with you.
A quick correction, Her Excellency, it is not Charles, it's Charles, H-A-R-S.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is not Her Excellency speaking. This is Lindley, who is...
Oh, Lindley.
Yes, yeah, this is Lindley, so...
Okay.
But,
it's Charles anyway.
Nice to meet you, Charles. And Her Excellency will be joining us. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We're giving it a few minutes so that everybody can feel free to put your introductions in the chat box, but also to just say hello and tell us who you are. And we're really excited to have you here with us today. Yeah.
Hello, how are you? This is Joachim from Tope, Ghana. I'm working with the Restoration Village Project here.
Thank you very much, Prince Yadel. May I please request whoever has their voice, their microphone on to please mute yourself.
I want to tell you with Amita. Hello?
Ola, can we mute everybody, Ola? This is now 11:07.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Gladys Quiroga Delgado from Venezuela, and this is my first participation in a meeting with the ADDI International. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you, Gladys, and very welcome. We are so excited to have you join us today. Yeah. Sylvia
Thank you.
And Ola.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
My name's Honorine Scott.
Hello, Honorine.
In the UK, originally from Ghana.
Pleasure to meet you, Honorine, and very welcome to this family. Yeah. And I see there's so many people all the way from Australia, from New York, from the UK, from Nairobi, Kenya, from Nigeria, from Canada, from Malawi, from Zambia, from Georgia. There's so many of you. Welcome to all of you from Essex, from, is it Mildura, Australia, from Curacao. Very welcome, Leslie, from Curacao, from Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, from Honduras, yes, from Chicago, from Norfolk, Virginia, DC, Zambia, Sugar Hill, Georgia. Oh, we have so many people. Sydney, Australia, New Orleans, and yes, we have so many different countries. St. Lucia here, Kwesi, very welcome. I see, is it Brenda from Canada? Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to join us. From Zimbabwe, you know, from Venezuela. This is absolutely amazing. And Manis, who is also one of our keynote speakers, you're here as well. This is fantastic. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And Lindley, if you mind, I just want to say a few words. There's a young man I invited. I'm in Charlotte, but I invited this young man named Benson Kande. I started seeing so much work he's doing in bringing water, fresh water to the rural communities in Sierra Leone. So he's with us. I'm so happy. And maybe later you'll get a chance to hear him. But to see our young people and the work they're doing, I am so proud. So that's Benson Kande.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Vivian, and very welcome, Benson. We will get a chance towards the end for people to have questions or to say a word or two about who they are and what they would like to share with us or contribute towards this big family. Sister Sylvia, shall we proceed with the program?
Yes, absolutely, yes, yes,
yeah.
We should. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we will put everybody on mute now, apart from those that are actively speaking, and that is to avoid any kinds of interference when we're having our conversation. So once again, a very warm welcome to everybody for coming to the very first ever ADDI Global Agriculture webinar. My name is Linley Chuona Carlton, and I am the ADDI Agriculture Global Director. It is indeed a pleasure for me to be having this honor of leading this sector, but also I have a wonderful team of people with me that are working together with me on this particular, on this very important aspect of development when it comes to agriculture. I would just like to share a picture so everybody sees who these people are, because as they say, it takes a village, right, to raise a child, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Yeah, it takes a village. So without really going into too much more interference here or interaction, I'd like to warmly introduce my team. I have Dr. Emmanuel Tata, who's originally from Cameroon, but also Ghana, and living and working in China. I have Professor Norma Lozano Jackson, who is originally from Colombia, but also residing in the United States. I have Dr. James Darko from the Cape Coast in Ghana, who is part of the team that is welcoming the African diaspora back to its mother continent. And Ghana is one of those first countries that we are being welcomed to come and rejoice and celebrate our heritage and our ancestry. And then I also have Dr. Franklin Amakua Mensah, who is from Ghana, but also based in Sweden. And then I have Salome Metal, who is also a Ghanaian, but based in the United States. And I have our very own Ras Mutunji, who is from Jamaica and representing the Caribbean, but also living in the United States. And last but not least, I have Ngolia Kimanzu, who is from Kenya and also residing in Sweden. This is the team that together has been working dedicatedly, tirelessly to have the agriculture program, but also the agriculture sphere within the ADDI, come together and have this first ever webinar. I'm really privileged to have had the opportunity to work with them. But before we proceed to the rest of the agenda for today, I would like us all to take a moment, a very special moment, to remember one of our very important founders and leaders and fighters of liberation on the African continent, our Mukulu, the late president of Zambia, Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda, who unfortunately on the 17th of June passed away. And it is befitting of this organization, but also befitting of this audience, that we observe a moment of silence. And I would like to hand over the word to my sister, Sylvia Robertson, originally also a citizen and a naturalized, indigenous person of Zambia, that should lead us into this process. So Sister Sylvia, please.
Thank you very much, my sister, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody that is on this forum. Your Excellency, if you're on, Your Royal Highness, and all protocols observed. Indeed, 17th of June was a very sad day where we lost our leader, President Kaunda, who ruled Zambia from 1964 to 1991. My fondest memory of the president, for those who don't know, he was my godfather, and he's the one who gave me away on my wedding day. So for those of you who don't really know him, let me just share one moment that I really, really remember as a young lady. Sometime in 1966, Rhodesia and South Africa had imposed sanctions on Zambia for Zambia not to be able to receive any goods into the country or exporting any goods out of the country. President Kaunda was a very proud man. He would not bend the knee to anybody except find a solution on how to feed his people. He then built a railway from Zambia all the way to Dar es Salaam, as well as a road. And he was able to feed us as a nation. Now that is called leadership. With that being said, indeed, we have lost a father, a grandfather, a dad, a statesman, for those of you who know him as President Kaunda, and indeed he shall be sadly missed. Even after leaving office, he still was a father to many. He still was a president to many of us. Even as he has gone, he will be fondly remembered. With that being said, let's please observe a moment of silence. And by the way, Zambia has declared 21 days of national mourning for this heroic, historic icon, Dr. David Kenneth Kaunda. A moment of silence, please. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. And at this juncture, we will now request that we play our African national anthem. Ms. Lindley, back over to you. You're muted, Lindley. You're still muted.
No, thank you very much, Sister Sylvia. And let me just share the screen with you again, please.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Sylvia. And indeed, we have not only lost, but we have also been challenged and tasked to move the agenda forward. So we should not only remember, Mukulu, His Excellency, the President of Zambia, Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda, but we should also continue with the agenda and all that he believed in. His Excellency always believed that we should never just think about what we can do for ourselves, but what we can do for those that are less privileged, for those that are more poor, for those that need our support. And I think there's no better way to do this than through agriculture. If there are some low-hanging fruits that we can really work through to have prosperity for all in Africa, it's by transforming our agriculture. It is by working with agriculture. It is a sector that not only is able to give benefits immediately, but it's also a sector that has very little investments that are required in order for it to get moving. It doesn't require much investment. And the other thing that really pleases me to no end is the fact that women and the youth can benefit, and we can achieve gender parity through agriculture. And this is something that together we can work on and see that we have prosperity, not only for those that are well off, but even for those that are least advantaged and have the least resources. And we can also address issues of climate change and sustainability through agriculture. We have the tools in Africa. That's what's so exciting. Too often we're not told this, but do you know that when it comes to digital, e-commerce issues, that Africa is already advanced? In fact, it is the premier. It's a trailblazer. We invented the innovation, M-Pesa, and it is something we have given to the world, and we have never really been truly acknowledged for it. And moving forward with agriculture, especially for the youth and even for the women, do you know that this is the one tool that is going to get us there much quicker? We can hear all sorts of complaints about how this Africa Continental Free Trade Area might be premature because we don't have the infrastructure in place. But guess what? We have the innovation and the tools already in place that gives us that opportunity to work with e-commerce, to work with digital tools. You're talking about drones and agriculture. Well, we figured that out already with the M-Pesa. So what else is new that we cannot do? So I'm really excited that today we will be hearing from numerous speakers that are going to be sharing what they have been working on and managed to achieve in agriculture, but not, and the thing that is even more important is that we have people working with the youth and the youth themselves who are going to be speaking, and you will hear it from their mouth and not from us, but from their mouth, and they will be telling you what it is that is possible and can be done. But before we go to that, I'd just like to say all protocols observed. Madam Ambassador and His Majesty Nana Omokose will be addressing us shortly. But before they do that, I would like to invite Amira Ansah, who is the ADDI Outreach Global Director. Sister Amira, are you online? Sylvia, do you see Sister Amira online?
Yes, she is online.
Yeah. Sister Amira? Sister Amira, are you muted?
Sister Amira, can you unmute yourself, please? There she is.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
Yes, she's there.
Amira? Okay. Can you unmute yourself, please?
She was unmuted. Amira.
I'm asking you to unmute, Sister Amira, if it is possible. Could you please unmute yourself? Did we lose her? Sister Sylvia?
Yes, ma'am.
Did we lose her again?
Hold on, let me double check. 1 second, 1 second.
Please, thank you.
Yes, we lost her. I think she's trying to reconnect.
There she is. She's logged on. I see you now, Sister Amira. You have to unmute yourself, please.
Understood, but I couldn't. It wouldn't allow me because I chose to not let folks unmute themselves. So
thank you.
And then I lost my permissions because I got dropped. So I wasn't able to unmute myself. So that was the issue. Give thanks. Oh my goodness. I am so glad to be here for agriculture. Mm-hmm. This is one of those webinars that I have definitely been looking forward to. So give thanks. Welcome everyone to our ADDI webinar. As I was introduced, my name is Amira Ansah, and I am the Global Director for Outreach for ADDI. And I heard mention that there are a few people here that have never participated in an ADDI webinar before. So I wanted to kind of just bring everybody up to speed and give you a little bit about what we do, kind of like our blueprint, right? What it is about ADDI that should interest you to want to become a member and to want to participate in any sector that you so desire, any chapter that you so desire, right? So to get started about our business vision, the business vision is for ADDI to be the bridge between Africa and the African diaspora around the world. So that's it. We are the bridge. We are the catalyst of getting things done. Our business mission is to promote unity, right? That Ubuntu spirit, that come together and get things done through functional unity, right? So to encourage everyone to participate in the development of Africa, to educate the African diaspora about investment opportunities in Africa, to promote the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, to the African diaspora, and we're going to be having a training on the 26th. It is going to be a remote training, so keep an eye out for information on that, because we are going to take that African Continental Free Trade Agreement and break it down and put it back together in a way that we can all benefit and ensure that it is being implemented the way that it was designed, right? So we want to make sure that implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement is something that is spearheaded by ADDI. If you know ADDI, you know that we have a nonprofit side. So ADDI is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So that is why we ask for your donations and contributions to help run the programs that I'm about to talk about, because there's a lot of nonprofit activities that we have here at ADDI. And you can always go to our website at ouraddi.org to get some more deets on it. But I'm just going to give you a quick rundown because I got 5 minutes and I spent like 2 of them trying to unmute myself. So first thing, the first right of refusal. And again, if you look on the website, you're going to be able to see more information about this. But essentially what that means is that all of the projects that are from the heads of states, all the continental projects out of Africa, we're saying that the African diaspora needs to be the first in line to have that right of refusal. If we want to do those projects, if we're capable of doing those projects, then we should be the ones first in line to be able to determine that. The next thing is to get the 6th region officially approved by the African heads of state. So we hear that term thrown around a lot about 6th region. And, you know, we know that Africa is 5 regions, right? We've got North, South, East, West, Central, right? So that's 5. So where's the 6th region come from? That 6th region is all about the African diaspora. And we have about 400 million African diaspora who live outside of the continent, right? So those are the folks that would make up the 6th region. And although it is something that is kind of on the books and has been in talks, it hasn't been like fully ratified, mainly because who's the 6th region? Like who is the organization, or where's that organization that has gathered folks together and says, hey, the 6th region is us, you know? And that is what ADDI set out to do as a part of, you know, like our $1 million Million People campaign. If we can get even 1 million of the 400 million of us that are African diaspora to come together and say, hey, we are the ones, right? For that 6th region, you know, so that is the goal, so that we can be recognized as the 6th region and participate in all of the benefits and the opportunities that come along with that, as being recognized as a collective group, right? And that's the issue around the unity and the coming together. So the 6th region and getting that officially recognized, that's another one of our nonprofit activities. So moving forward, talking about reparations, because that is still an issue. I know oftentimes we get pacified by symbolism, you know, yay for Juneteenth being a day off, but hello, let's talk reparations. Okay, let's talk real justice. Let's talk, you know, more from a perspective of how can we all who have suffered through whether it's colonialism, enslavement, you know, we've got it all across the board. So let's really get together and have those conversations and come together as a collective with an ask from both the United States of America and the EU, right? So some additional projects that we have that are nonprofit activities, like our Women Empowerment Project, which is going to be such a grandiose part of our trade expo that we're going to be going on in December to Ghana. Yeah, I said it, right? So there is a link on the website that I'll point you all to, so you can pre-register. So all of the information is going to be available to everybody on July 1. But if you want to pre-register, so you know that the information is going to come directly to you, to your email, then I want you to go to wakanda.ouraddi.org and you can pre-register so that you are automatically in the loop for information that's coming out about our trip to Ghana. So women and youth empowerment is, again, going to be a major part of that trade expo, and really bringing women from all of the regions in Ghana, the Cebu Kingdom, and how it was explained to me is the women of the hinterlands. So around the outskirts of Cape Coast, all coming together. We are going to be providing them microloans to get their businesses started, and working with them and partnering with them in mentor programs with diaspora mentors to ensure that their business plans that they come up with are funded and are managed and maintained so that we can see success. And we're going to do the same thing for the youth. And we've already met with some beautiful queen mothers from the continent. We have the pleasure of having our own queen mother as a part of the trade, trade and essential business sector. So we are really, really looking forward to our trade expo and empowering the women and youth. So those are some additional nonprofit activities. Our legacy project, which is putting together for those in higher education to actually travel to Africa, to really be able to see what it's like, and taking some of those youth who are interested in Africa and giving them the opportunity to visit different parts of the continent. And I mentioned our $1 Million campaign to support all of the above activities that I just talked about. So again, we need your contributions and your donations. As you can see, they're all going to a wonderful causes and building the Africa that we want. So those are some of the nonprofit activities that we do as a collective here at ADDI. Now we have for-profit activities that we do under the umbrella of ADDH, which is the for-profit arm, essentially, of our organization. Of course, our flagship product is the Wakanda One City of Return, Cape Coast, Ghana. You're going to be hearing a lot of that. So I'm not even going to delve into it too deep here, but a couple other things that we do as it relates to for-profit activities is the Travaco, the Trans-Africa Value Corridor. And that's one of the things that we do to encourage an investment in that corridor. The African Diaspora International Savings Bank, or ADDIS Bank. This is to encourage the investment in an offshore bank that is run by the diaspora in Antigua, right? So it's for us, by us. So really look for additional information on that. I'll put some information in the chat where you can reach out to Sister Ray. She can give you some more information. And also, our fund, our African Diaspora Fund. So essentially being able to crowd fund to participate in investment activities in Africa. So those are a lot of the for-profit things that we're doing as well. And we're constantly adding more and more things to the plate because, again, we are under the leadership of such an amazing visionary. And when I tell you that her vision is just like an eagle soaring across and being able to pick out the avenues and the ways that we should go, and then it's up to us to use our superpowers to help that come into fruition. So, the Know Me by My Name, that's one of the nonprofit initiatives in conjunction with African ancestry. So again, being able to know if you are part of the African diaspora and don't know exactly what kingdom that you're associated with. I know I did my maternal ancestry through African ancestry, and they told me that I am of the Mendi people out of Sierra Leone and of the Balanta people out of Guinea-Bissau. So again, there's power in that. And so these programs that we are bringing together under the umbrella of ADDI and ADDH are here to, again, inform the African diaspora and to ensure that we are first in line to build the Africa that we want. Now, before I end, of course, I always have to tell everybody to get a copy of Africa 101. All right, because this is literally the foundation of the organization. So, you know, it's kind of like the membership handbook. So you want to be a member of ADDI, first things first, get the book. right? Because you really need to be in the right mindset to understand the things that we're doing and why we're doing them, the way that we're doing, et cetera, et cetera. And again, I just wanted to open it to this page for our beloved elder who is now an ancestor. And I'm looking at a quote that Her Excellency put in the book from him. And it says, there are numerous reasons why African leaders need to be more strategic in cultivating a relationship with the diaspora. There are numerous reasons why. And with that being said, that is why we are here together, to ensure that we are building the Africa that we want. So again, Africa 101 interactive book. You can scan the QR code and hear Her Excellency in her own words, audio, explain the chapters as you go through them. Again, it's a host and a wealth of information of past and present, all right, and the way forward. And then, of course, I would be remiss if I did not give an absolute shout out to our beloved Mama Mata, and talk about Mama Mata Coffee, because this is an ongoing fundraiser that we have. Mama Mata has been gracious enough to offer up 10,000 bags of coffee for ADDI, so that in the selling of these bags, we can earn $100,000 for our organization. So I need each and every one of you, if you're a coffee drinker or not, because you can always give it as a gift, to purchase your bag of Mama Mata coffee today. I will put the link in the chat. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your time, your talent, and your treasure. Back to you, Dr. Lindley. Give thanks.
Thank you so much, Sister Amira. That was just amazing, on fire as always, and with able to communicate so much information in such a short space of time. So without further ado, Sister Sylvia, do we have Her Excellency the Ambassador with us now?
Let me check for you 1 second, please. Olainka, is HE on?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm also checking. There are like 300 people on, so let me check.
Okay.
She was signing in.
All right, give me a minute. Let's check for her. Give us a second, all right?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. As you can see, we have a very exciting program for you all. We are not only just starting off with the information and the pleasantries, but we think that the messages that you're going to get from our very special founder, Her Excellency the Ambassador, Dr. Arikana Chihombori Kwao, and also His Majesty Nana Obokose Mpa from Cape Coast in Ghana, are very fundamental for situating the conversation that we will be having today. The agriculture speakers that we have invited are equally exciting, and
she's just joining in now.
Forward to
Dr. Lindley.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Her Excellency is just joining in now.
Thank you very much, Ola. And just let me know when she is ready so that I can hand over the word to her, please. Yeah.
I will.
Thank you. So, and as I was saying that, the lineup of speakers that we have that are going to be sharing us their different journeys around agriculture, about agriculture, and the future of agriculture, in particular when it comes to the youth, are really amazing speakers. And I'm so excited. I just cannot wait to have them speak and for you all to see why we think this is a very exciting period for us to be talking about agriculture. And in case you are not aware, for those of you in particular that have just joined us for the first time, is that the African Diaspora Development Institute has 3 key areas that we are prioritizing. The first one is mining, the second one is agriculture, and the third is manufacturing. And all these areas are interconnected. But of course, today we're focusing on agriculture, and I think it is just amazing that we can have a whole webinar just on agriculture. Now, without further ado, I would like to welcome Your Excellency, the Ambassador and the founder of ADDI, Dr. Arikana Chihombori Kwao, to give us her words of inspiration, but also to tell us a little bit more about the ADDI, its mission, its vision, and how it brings together all of us as the family and children of Africa. Madam Ambassador. Madam Ambassador, can you hear us? Madam Ambassador? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Ambassador, please.
I needed you to unmute me. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, depending on where you're listening from. Thank you, Professor Lindley, for putting this, you and your team, for putting this important program together. Thank you, Sister Amira, as usual, for giving us a wonderful description and introduction to ADDI. Thank you to all ADDI members who are listening from all over the world. Thank you to the ADDI team leaders, sector leaders who work tirelessly every day to make sure that the movement continues to grow. Agriculture is a sector that if we were to come together and really put our monies in an organized way into agriculture, we could have every country in Africa's development led through agriculture. It's such a pivotal sector that we felt very strongly that we needed to have a session to really come together and emphasize the importance of agriculture in the development of our beloved continent. Agriculture affects everything, starting with healthcare. If we were to truly use agriculture to address the issues of healthcare, we could cut down our healthcare budget in half. Agriculture, again, like you mentioned, when we talk about our soil and what our soil can do for us, Africa remains the only continent on earth with over 65% of its arable land completely untapped. So the arable land is available for agriculture, but it is also very rich in minerals. So when you talk land, you are talking the wealth of our beloved continent. That is why this sector is so crucial. And we feel very strongly as ADDI that a well-organized agriculture sector is a sector that can lead us into the future of our beloved continent. ADDI is an entity that was created to be the bridge between the African diaspora and our beloved continent. ADDI realizes that as we are scattered all over the globe, there was not a single place that you can go to discuss issues pertaining to, one, Africa, and secondly, us as a people, as Black people, because we were intentionally dispersed around the world. We were intentionally divided even within the continent of Africa. Our reality is the rule of divide and conquer was so effectively and systematically implemented, not only in dividing the continent into tiny little countries, but also as individuals, where the self-hate and the mistrust of each other has kept us from even coming together as people in a small community, especially us in the diaspora. We don't even get along in spite of being surrounded by others who are away from their places of birth. I use an example of this United States of America. If you were to ask for the voices of the Chinese diaspora, very loud and clear, no Black person can open a shop in Chinatown in New York City. You ask for the voices of the Italian Americans, no Black person can enter Little Italy. You ask for the voices of the Mexican Americans, the Indian diaspora, the Irish diaspora, the German Americans. They are all united. The Jews, they may not like each other as individuals, but when it comes to issues pertaining to their countries of birth, to their origin, they stick together like superglue because they long understood that their strength is in their unity. That ability to come together and understand that we don't have to like each other, we don't have to love each other, but at a certain level, we have to work together for our sheer survival. We have lost that ability as Black people to do so. ADDI is saying we can rekindle that ability because it was there in the beginning, before the invaders from the West descended upon our Africa. It was there, that is who we were. We were a united people. We believed in our unity. We believed in working together. We believed in the spirit of Ubuntu. That was destroyed. We are the people as Africans, and by Africans, I mean all Black people. We're the ones who taught the world what it means to be human. We're the ones who introduced civilization to the world. But the invaders from the West came in with a strategy to see to it that Africa and her children are forever defeated and dominated. It is a strategy that was so masterfully implemented to where now they don't have to redo it. We're just passing it on. It's like a gene of stupidity from one generation to the other. We automatically feel inferior. We automatically feel that what we do is not important. We gotta look for validation from the outsiders. It is a serious disease, my brothers and sisters, whether we like to accept it or not. You see, in order for you to go to the doctor, you must understand that you're sick. Each and every one of us must have a serious conversation with the image in the mirror and understand that we are ailing in the intensive care from this disease of the legacy of slavery and the legacy of colonization. For when we heal from this disease, it will be easy for us to then do other things that come natural to people from other nationalities and other ethnic groups. Things that were basically the issue of unity, we are struggling with it. The mistrust of each other. Even when we are talking $10, we're talking time. What's in it for me? ADDI is saying, coming to be part of this movement is not about you. It should never be about you. It should be about building a legacy that says, we have been on this journey of stupidity for far too long. We can no longer continue to do the same things over and over and expect a different result. That's what Albert Einstein called insanity. ADDI is saying, let's come together and create that unity of purpose. Let's come together and be the generation that's going to turn the corner. Let's do this for our children and generations to come. Let's refuse to continue to be the most disrespected people on earth. Let's refuse to leave this world the way it is for our children. It is wrong, it is wrong, it is wrong. And we are supremely qualified to change this dynamic. And it all boils down to our unity. Unity, so we know who we are, where we are, and what we do. And we follow it up with putting our few dollars together. I'd like to end by giving an example of the 13 Jewish men who met in a library in Tel Aviv in 1945. This is after Holocaust. The ideas and plans and decisions they made that day and saw it to implementation have led to the powerful Jewish people that we have in the world today. If I may compare the Jewish people and the Africans, and by Africans I'm meaning all Black people around the world. The Jews have a small desert little country called Israel and 15 million Jewish diaspora. We, on the other hand, we have almost 400 million African diaspora and the largest landmass on earth, over 30,000 square miles of very arable land. Compare us. They rule. We're scum of the earth. Simply because we refuse to come together. We refuse to create that unity of purpose. ADDI is saying enough is enough. We know better. Those of us in the diaspora, to whom much is given, much is expected. I know this is a tall mountain to climb, trying to unite African diaspora around the globe. It's almost like you have to be insane to think that can be done. ADDI is saying, following and echoing the words of Nelson Mandela, it's impossible until it's done. ADDI is saying, while we understand it's a journey that is 10,000 miles, even that journey, it starts with the first step. I'm asking all of you in joining us. We're now on the second step. It's only a second step of a 10,000-mile journey, but we got this. We can do this. 1 million of us out of the 400 million with $83 a month, we got $1 billion by the end of the year. Think about it. 1 million of us, just 1 million. In the United States, you got about 55 million Black people. Just give me 1 million out of those. In Europe, continental diaspora, we have about 8 million. Just give me 1 million of them to commit to $83 a month for a year. Already we got 2 billion right there. The Caribbean is sitting at 45 million Black people. South America is sitting at almost 200 million Black people. If we take all of the Black people around the world, just give me 5 million of them. And we each commit to $83 a month for 1 year. We're sitting at 5 billion. Now you see how the Jews became so powerful financially? $83 a month for 1 year. We're sitting at 5 billion. We monetize that 5 billion. Before you know it, we are sitting at trillions. $83 a month for 1 year. Now let's make it $83 a month for 5 years. It doesn't have to be even the same people. As long as we average 5 million, we're committing to $83 a month. It starts with that unity of purpose. It starts with each and every one of us saying, I am going to do my part to build a legacy. So my children, grandchildren do not have to live in a world that I've lived in. That's what this is about. 20 years from now, your children, your grandchildren shall come to you and ask, grandmother, grandfather, why must my life be the way it is? What have you done to fix this? What have you done to make this world a better place for me? There are problems with Black people. There are problems in Africa. What did you do, grandmother, grandfather? What is your answer? I hope your answer is not going to be, oh, we did nothing. ADDI is creating that platform that we can begin to have the discussions, just like those 13 Jewish men did. So we can say, enough is enough. We're the most intelligent, most educated, most hardworking people I know. We can come together. We refuse to continue to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. That's why we are here, to continue the conversation. And I would hope all of you can go to our ADDI and be part of the movement. This movement is not about what's in it for me. It's not about you. It's about building a legacy for our children and generations to come. It's about taking our Africa back to what Africa once was, when we ruled the world, when we were the center of the earth. That we must do. And that is what ADDI is all about. Bringing us together and taking us home. Welcome to ADDI. Back to you, Sister Linda.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. This has been really, important words with so much meaning, with so much importance. And today is not only the first day that you mention these words or you speak of these words, you repeatedly have been speaking of these words and bringing us all together. We are honored, Your Excellency. We are grateful that you have taken the time and committed yourself to bringing us together. It is not an easy feat. We're not easy children to take care of. We have our differences. We come from many different walks of life. And we just want to say thank you very much for being a mother, for being a sister, for being a daughter, and most of all, for being a child of Africa and for bringing us all children together. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I would now like to call upon His Majesty Nana Obokose Ampa from Cape Coast, Ghana, to give us some welcome remarks and to welcome us all, not only the diaspora, but all the children of Africa back to where we came from, and none other than Cape Coast, Ghana. Please, Your Majesty, the floor is yours. I saw that you were connected before. Your Majesty?
Linley, please, you have to give him the permission to unmute himself.
Thank you very much, Professor Linley. This is a very special day for us. And thank you for your leadership. It's amazing. What you are on is revolutionary. And I want to thank you for what you're doing for Mother Africa. And also special thanks to our Asantua, Her Excellency Ambassador Arikana Chambori, the founder and president of ADDI. This is excellent. This is the vision of Kwame Nkrumah. This is the vision of Asantua. This is the vision of Africa. We thank God, the Creator, and our ancestors for the guide and for the protection and for everything. We thank you for doing what you're doing for Mother Africa. It is obvious that Ghana and Africa cannot go anywhere without agriculture. Agriculture is the base for our economic development. And ADDI has chosen the right path. Kwame Nkrumah started state farms in Ghana. State farms was to make Ghana self-reliant when it comes to agriculture and food. Now it's a different story. We importing rice, we importing everything from China, Malaysia, everywhere in the world apart from Africa. It's a shame. So what ADDI is doing is phenomenal. It's monumental. And I want to say thank you to our founder, our president, Her Excellency Ambassador Arikana Chambori. I am very happy to also share with you that my mentor and spiritual guide, the founder of Bereshit Hashuba in New York, the executive director for Panafest Foundation, Rabbi Cohen Halevi, is right here. We're having a big gathering for Juneteenth celebration. And Rabbi will say a few words. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's do this. We can do this. Thank you. Here is Rabbi.
Greetings, my sister. First of all, giving all honor, praise, and glory to the Supreme Creator of the universe and to the spirit of our ancestors, to Your Excellency, Arikana Chambori, for your visionary leadership. My words are very few. I just want to share with you on this day of Juneteenth, the spirit of Juneteenth, the spirit of freedom. We know that the real word for freedom is a two-compound word. Free meaning liberation and dome meaning mind. And the spirit of Juneteenth could not be celebrated more honorably than in the initiative that ADDI has embarked upon, because freedom is a continuous process. It's not something that happens in a single act. And so for us to free ourselves from colonial bondage and to dare to dream about establishing our own cities and the restoration of our own kingdoms, begins with the restoration of our proper mind. And we can't have a proper mind if we cannot be independent, and being independent means being able to feed ourselves. So I'm happy to see that this conference is taking place today and that we're talking about agriculture, because Africa has one of the most abundant arable lands in the world. And that's our blessing from the Creator. And we must take responsibility for cultivating our own land and feeding our own population. So on this Juneteenth, let us celebrate freedom with action, and action towards taking our destiny into our own hands and commanding our own destiny as a people and being in charge of ourselves. Our redemption is in our own hands. Africans must free Africa. Africans must be responsible for Africa. And we cannot allow the world to continue to feed off of Africa while African people remain poor and our continent remains the breast of the whole world, and the whole world feeds off the milk of Mother Africa and her children are starving. So I would like to give just that message of solidarity as we are gathered together in Ghana, West Africa, at the center of the world, the home of the Black Star, that in celebrating Juneteenth, we celebrate in solidarity with you. So please accept these words as being spoken from the community that is gathered here today. We're with a community of diasporians as well as continental brothers and sisters living out the vision for a new world, for a new Africa, and for tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Thank you, family. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Sister Lindy.
Happy Juneteenth to you all.
Thank you. Sister Lindy. Yes, I wanted to take a moment. I did not realize His Majesty and Rabbi Cohen were on the call. I wanted to officially acknowledge them and to thank them for their support. I know later on in the program, I'm going to be talking about the city of return, but I wanted to officially acknowledge Rabbi Cohen and His Majesty Nana Obokase for being here and for all the wonderful work that you're doing. Yes, Juneteenth, my video is out of today's celebrations. It is indeed a remarkable day that we are having this meeting on Juneteenth. And to everyone.
They're having an international webinar today, and it is basically based on agriculture.
Thank you. Happy Juneteenth.
Us taking control. She's giving a message to all of us. Happy Juneteenth. She's still on the line. So she's sending a message, happy Juneteenth to all of us. So that's how we have to be prepared. You know, this is ad hoc, but we got to be prepared for the revolution. So anything might fall on the agenda. But we have come to the portion of just this also sacred act that is a part of this Juneteenth day.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nana Kwa. You're there too. Welcome. So good to see you. Okay.
I don't know if they probably got disconnected, but thank you very much, Your Excellency. And without further ado, I would like to call on the next speaker, and that is Ms. Ngolia Kimanzu, who will be sharing with us a talk on transforming agriculture for prosperity for all. Ngolia Kimanzu is the Chief Operations Officer of the African Agriculture Professionals in the Diaspora in Europe, but he is also the lead Global Agriculture Team Leader for Europe at ADDI. So please, Ngolia, the floor is yours, and you have 10 minutes on the clock. Thank you. Ngolia, are you?
Yeah, I would just wanted to unmute myself.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor Lindley, Ambassador Arikana Chombodi for this vision, and His Majesty for guiding us very well since we started engaging on agriculture. We are quite pleased that agriculture has been prioritized by the ADDI. We feel it was the right prioritization. So this is actually a brief presentation of the strategy that we have developed within the sector. And it goes for the theme, of course, transforming agriculture for prosperity for all Africans, both in Africa and the diaspora. Our vision for African agriculture, we feel we contribute to economic growth and development. That is really contributing to prosperity in Africa, wealth and well-being for farmers, in particular smallholder farmers who are majority in Africa, and of course to ensure self-sufficiency in food for 1.2 billion people who reside in Africa. And I would like to add also, as Ambassador Chombori mentioned, we have also Africa in the diaspora. We feel it's also one of our priorities for the agriculture sector. So how do we transform agriculture? We believe it's very important for value addition. We also believe it's important to reduce post-harvest losses that go as high as 30%, making huge losses for smallholder farmers and also some of the large-scale farmers. We also want to develop homegrown quality standards because this has been a very big problem for most of Africa. The standards have developed outside and they are not really acceptable. It's very difficult today for Africa, even when we become self-sufficient to export our products. So we will put a lot of effort in this, and we have the expertise in diaspora, and we link up with our local expertise as well in Africa. Last but not least, we want to develop an agriculture bond for financing agricultural development. And I would like to say this, that with the ADDI Finance Department, we've had very good profitable discussions on how to develop an agriculture bond for every single African country to develop agriculture. So I think this is really very important. Just to contextualize the problem with Africa today, I want to give you the statistics of 2018. In 2018, Africa imported approximately 73 million tons of grain. And the previous year in 2017 was slightly less. So in 2018, there was an increment of 4.5%. In value terms, it is actually 15 billion US dollars, a lot of money that Africa spends on importing grains that today could be used for health, for infrastructure, and to develop Africa. And this is a statistic that we would like to reverse in the agriculture sector. And we feel with our capacity in diaspora and with local expertise in Africa, this can be reversed. It's actually 35 billion US dollars that actually totally Africa spends on importing food every year. So what are the solutions that we propose in the agriculture sector? The strategy one is actually to fast track large-scale dissemination of productive increasing technologies and inputs. We want to utilize the diaspora expertise, cutting across Europe, Caribbean, everywhere that we have Africans in diaspora. And we want to replicate experiential learning across the diaspora and the African continent. Our second strategy, as I mentioned in the vision, is actually to develop local patenting and standardization for the protection of local manufacturing, value addition, and food production. This is really a big need in Africa today, because most of the food that also Africa imports is actually standards that they don't protect African production. And we believe the diaspora and within the sector, we have the capacity actually to address these. And of course, we want to create model systems for reliable and sustainable food production. We feel ADDI can provide this platform. I know there are many good initiatives going on all over Africa, good projects, but we feel the ADDI can be the home for these model systems. And of course, we want to develop peer review mechanism within and across the countries so that these standards really become a global standard. The third strategy is, of course, as I mentioned, is we want to launch an Africa agriculture bond for every country to finance agriculture. We want to develop higher purchase system, for example, for agricultural equipment to support increased agricultural productivity. And of course, the small producers so that they can be able to purchase inputs in bulk, seeds, fertilizer. And of course, when I mentioned seeds here, we want to develop seed systems in Africa. They're not GMO driven like it's happening today. Most of the production, we want to focus on organic production, which Africa has got the unique capacity to do it and be able actually to dominate global markets with organic production. First aiming at self-sufficiency in Africa and also exporting products to the rest of the world. So we want to do, first of all, is as Madam Ambassador will talk about it later on, with the Wakanda city in Ghana. That's where we want to pilot test most of these initiatives as quickly as possible, and then roll them out across Africa in all the regions. And of course, our long-term goal is actually to design a perfect, healthy dinner plate for Africa. So our immediate plan is actually to establish an income-earning multi-product food chain agribusiness, beginning with Wakanda in Ghana, and of course, rolling out in the rest of Africa, because we believe we have the expertise and we can mobilize the finance to be able to do this. So we want to develop with the fast track development of 2 agricultural value chains in Cape Coast, Ghana. This will enable us to pilot test and give options to the rest of Africa on quickly how to organize agriculture, basically to meet the food requirements in Africa, and of course at the same time looking at the export market, because I feel Africa has got very unique potential not found anywhere else in the world. And of course, we've talked about a lot of work for the youth. We want to establish an income-earning youth center for skills training across Africa, starting with Ghana. And of course, we want to establish a training and mentoring program for women in agriculture and entrepreneurship. As you know, in Africa, most of the agricultural production is done by women, and the power imbalance is great. We would like to address this within the agriculture sector. You know, a lot of machinery in Africa today actually are imported from Europe. The spares have to be gotten from Europe. If it's not that, you have to use a djembe and a hoe to do agriculture. Within the sector, we feel we have the capacity and the means to make our own African tools. And we want to develop these across Africa. Tools for increasing agricultural production and tools also for processing that actually also generate local energy solutions, not dependent on electrical grids that is very problematic today for actually Africa to feed itself. If you look at the current global value chains, as I mentioned, we want to quickly pilot tests in Ghana. We've actually mapped out the whole of Africa, right from the north with a very important agricultural value chains. We have wheat and horticulture up in the tip in North Africa. We have sorghum, millet, livestock across the Sahel. We have rice in West Africa. We have cassava in the humid and some humid zones. We have maize, soybean, dairy, poultry across the Guinea Savannah, right from West Africa to Central Africa. We have tree crops like cocoa, coffee, cashew, cotton, oil, palm, horticulture, fish farming across all of Africa, including Madagascar. So we have prioritized all these value chains, and we feel we can mobilize the necessary finance, the necessary expertise in diaspora to be able to make Africa feed itself again. And of course, export organic food stuff that the world really needs. I mentioned that post-harvest losses are very huge in Africa, and all the statistics bear us. If you look at the various markets, it's overproduction of a single commodity, and there's no value addition. You look at the packaging for the agricultural products, it's unhygienic, is not attractive for the market, even for the local market. So these are the issues we want to address immediately within the agriculture sector going forward. We partner very well within the expertise. In particular, we have a very good concept, the Afro Brains, which will be presented later on. And with very good packaging, value addition, that is not only attractive and can compete with any other products from anywhere in the world. And even for export, you know, we would like these products to have market in Europe, in the US, everywhere in the Caribbean for a very good exchange of unique products. And finally, of course, what we want to aim is actually a balanced diet for across Africa, where with all the necessary food production of different kinds. And my colleague later on will expound on the perfect dinner plate. And as you can see, Africa is very rich with a variety of food products. These are the ones we want to highlight for each zone, each region, promote them self-sufficiency. And why not? Why not export also to diaspora in the States and Europe? I think these are the products that when you look at markets, for instance, the ones I see in Sweden, you see products that are not well packaged, not well processed, but we feel within the sector, we can create a revolution, both internally in Africa and also for export for the perfect African dinner plate. Thank you. This is the team Linley presented in the beginning. Many of you were not around. We have Professor Linley provide us the leadership in the team. We have Dr. Emmanuel Tata, Cameroonian Ghanaian in China. We have Professor Norma Jackson, Franklin Amakwa Mensa, Salome Mental, Ghana, USA, and myself, Ngolia Kimanzo. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Ngolia. And your presentation segues very nicely into a question that just popped up in the chat. And that was, why is everything starting in Ghana? Why Ghana? And I think the next two speakers, Dr. James Darko from the University of Cape Coast, but also Her Excellency, the Ambassador, Dr. Chihombori Kwao, will dwell a little bit on that particular question. I will not preempt it, but just share with you that we have some answers coming up. Ngolia, if you could, thank you for ending that, and thank you for a wonderful presentation. So Dr. James Opoko Darko, he's a senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, and his field is agribusiness, forest management, and environmental assessment. He is really interested in repivoting agriculture in Africa using greenhouses, hydroponics, cocoa pits, and not least organic agriculture. Dr. Darko, are you ready to share your screen and your presentation?
Yes, Professor Linley. And good afternoon to you all. My name is James Opoku Darko, a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, Ghana. And I'm going to talk about the Ankafo poultry farm, which has been abandoned for over 40 years, and the way it is going to be rehabilitated or revamped for economic and social development in Ghana and Central region as well. This poultry farm was established by the late His Excellency Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, in 1962. And with the vision of Ghana being self-sufficient in feeding her own self and people. But unfortunately, after some time, when he was out of power, things got bad, and the place has not been working anymore. Now, one of the reasons why, or the visions of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, was for Africa to take hold of feeding her own self, like I first said, and to also create employment for the local people within the Cape Coast, Ankafo, enclave, and probably Central region as a whole. And to also, of course, help the economy of Ghana to develop as well. And finally, to also serve as a research or a learning or a training center for individual citizenry who would probably have the interest to also go into poultry. But unfortunately, because of the change of power and several outgone leaders who never took care of this investment, now the place has been, neglected, and it is becoming very bad. Now, the need to rehabilitate this poultry farm is very important because Now, in Ghana, as I am speaking, or currently, the government of Ghana spends $374 million US annually for the importation of chicken, which is 300,000 metric tons every year or annually. $374 million for 300,000 metric tons of chicken annually, which is not a small amount of money, and also not a small amount of chicken meat or feed. Now, the government of Ghana encourages individuals who envisage or wants to go into poultry production through Ghana Exim Bank and through Ghana Agricultural Development Bank. And so the government is also trying to get several reliefs and policies to encourage individual Ghanaians, youth, and those who are even on pension as well to also go into the production of poultry, so that at the end of the day, the importation of chicken can come down or would reduce drastically. However, another good thing is that with the introduction of the free senior high school in Ghana, every senior high school eats chicken and poultry. And currently, we have over 500,000 students in various high schools in Ghana, which also brings the demand of eggs and poultry products or meat to a very high demand. Yet, looking at the number of poultry farms we have, it do not go anywhere and cannot even serve 1/10 of the entire need. So if we could be able to revamp the place or rehabilitate this poultry farm, it is not only going to serve the people within the area by creating employment, by also getting them an access to study, but also to help the economy of Ghana by already market that is available that the people will patronize. So for me, when someone asks why Ghana, I think this also answers his question, because one, there is a very huge market accessibility in Ghana, and also the government of Ghana has a policy to support this, unlike other places which I may not be sure there might be such policies from the government. However, the demand in Ghana is so huge, and whenever you want to invest into something that there is a huge demand for the thing, I think there is no cause for a fear or an alarm. In Ghana, almost every domestic home, restaurant, etc., eats products from the poultry, that is meat and egg. Almost every home eats chicken and eggs. Children going to school. So the market is so huge, very huge. And almost every function in Ghana, like funerals, like weddings, like birthday celebrations, parties, everything, people eat eggs and chicken. So we going into this project in Ghana and in Central region is very good and much, much better. Before I continue or whilst presenting, I would like to also show you some photos that I have this from the farm that we are talking about, and so that you will also see its state now. The place is very bushy and deplorable, and I think if we could do that, it will create a lot of employment for the people around, and then the people can, this is how the place looks like. I took photos from that place, and I don't know if everybody sees it, and there are a lot of them here.
We can see it, James. We can see it.
Okay. I have several of them that I would like to share. And so we already have the structures available, which is also good. And we are not now going to invest in any land, go into litigation, go into any problems. The structures are already there. And looking at the people in the area, they are very receptive and very much welcoming. And so it will make our work very easier for us. Looking at how the government of Ghana is already encouraging people, I have personally even started a poultry farm myself around the Wakanda village. I think it's less than a kilometer from my farm to Wakanda village, where I am also training the people in the community and then helping them, and those who wants to go into poultry, seeing how I'll be able to assist them. So this project has really been a very good project that will also be a fulfillment of a vision for the people in Central Region and around Cape Coast. And some of the, I would want to show you some of the photos from what I'm doing over there. Yeah, these are some of the chicken in my personal farm that I have. And people who are over there are really very happy and learning. Said it is a good place to invest because there is market, the government is ready to support, and even later if we need any assistance, I think the government of Ghana through the Ghana Exim Bank can still assist us, which wouldn't be bad at all. So this brings the presentation to an end. And also, finally, when we are able to do this project, because we are going to improve upon the quality, definitely there will be value adding equipment like slaughtering machines and so on, that there are companies and individuals in Ghana who also does that. So we are also going to create markets for them as well. If we have 4, 5, 6 of these farms throughout Central Region or Ghana or other African countries, and we have tested their equipment, I think they can also buy from us or from those people, and the money runs and exchange, and then also, you know, build the economy of Ghana and affect the whole of Africa for our development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Darko, for a very illuminating presentation about the potential that already exists on the ground when it comes to working with one of these value chains, which is the poultry value chain. And I hope that answers one of the questions that was posted here in the chat. And I see that there's some other questions coming up in relation to your presentation and looking at chicken poultry value chain and in relation to the European Union. So I think we'll take those later on when we have the Q&A. Thank you very much, Dr. Darko.
You're welcome.
Sister Amira, is Her Excellency the Ambassador online with us? Because now we are moving on to the overview of Wakanda 1, City of Return, and the Expo launch. And I'm wondering if we have our ambassador online, please. Amira?
Yes, she's online.
Thank you, Sister Sylvia. Dr. Darko, could you please stop sharing your screen?
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
If you could stop sharing, thank you very much. Your Excellency, Ambassador Dr. Arikana Chiumbori-Quao, and yes, I'm asking you to unmute.
Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, thank you, Professor Lindley. Thank you, Professor, for the wonderful presentations that we just seen. I can see all of you have really been hard at work, and we're looking forward to the Kwame Nkrumah Farm in Ghana. Let me start by answering the question, why Ghana? I suppose I'll answer the question with a question, why not Ghana? It goes back again to, where would you want us to start? When I was still practicing medicine, I would have patients say, why did I get cancer? And my response would be, well, just let me know who should have the cancer instead. If you ask why Ghana, tell me where you would want us to have started. And when we start in that country, then somebody else will say, why that country? Already, whoever asked the question, be it a brother or a sister, that's the spirit that we are saying we do not need. Ghana for you, regardless of where you were born, Ghana is home. Africa is home. And that's the spirit you should be coming to the table with. If we were all to say, why is it not happening in the Gambia? Why is it not happening in Benin? Can we start in every African country? Have you put money aside enough for us to get started in all the African countries? The spirit we are wanting to prevail is the spirit that says, I am an African no matter where I am. So Ghana, yes. Because remember, Ghana is a creation of the colonizers. That's why we are talking about Africa, not the individual African countries. When you continue to say, I'm from this country, it should happen in my country, you are being that victim of colonization. You are propagating the Berlin Conference. Don't forget, before 1885, all these African countries and the divisions that we have were not there. We were powerful kingdoms. So please, let's begin to ask ourselves when we think a certain way. So the brother or sister who asked that question, stop and think, what is your mindset? Right there, you're wrong. Your thinking is out of line. The question should be, why not Ghana? And that's where you begin. So I'm asking you to have a conversation with the image in the mirror and answer that question, why not Ghana? This is Africa. It's a journey of 10,000 miles. And we're taking the first step. We will get there. But you can't ask me, why aren't we at step number 1020? Because we are not there yet. But we will get there. All Africa is going to be developed. But we got to start somewhere. Ghana happened to have given us the land. The kingdom of Asebu has stood up. They've given us 5,000 acres. We have an additional 30,000 acres, the kingdom next door. And that's why Ghana, because we were invited and we were given land. As a matter of fact, we were supposed to have gone to Zambia in May of last year, but because of COVID, we ended up not going. So our first trip would have been to Zambia. So to the brother or sister who asked, why Ghana? There was no magic about Ghana. It just happened that that's where we got the land first. We actually got land first from Zambia, but COVID got in the way. Kenya, a group of Kenyan diaspora have organized. So now we have land in Kenya. So we are not favoring any country. We are saying the developing of Africa is ours and ours alone. So please, do not be selfish. First and foremost, you're an African. Development in Africa is benefiting all Africans at home and abroad. And by Africans, I mean all Black people. Because first and foremost, in order to undo the damage, let's understand that we're Africans first. The divisions that imposed upon us are what is keeping us from creating that meaningful unity, that unity of purpose. So with that, let's zoom on back to Ghana, where the Kingdom of Asebu, through the leadership of Nana Abokase, they invited us to come join them in realizing what President Nana Addo would like to see built in Cape Coast. And he is calling it the city of return. For those of you who may not have kept up with the proclamations that President Nana Addo has made, 2019, he declared it the year of return. We saw over 1 million children of Africa in the diaspora visit Ghana. He then followed by declaring 2020 beyond the return. President Nana Addo has since reached out to Cape Coast and the Kingdom of Asebu and requested that a city of return be built in Cape Coast. Why Cape Coast? Cape Coast, for those who are not aware, over 80% of the children of Africa who were taken out of Africa as slaves, they were all pulled into Ghana and they left out of 2 ports. Cape Coast, they call it Cape Coast castles. We call them dungeons. The children of Africa who were taken to North America, they left out of the Cape Coast dungeons. The children of Africa who were taken to the Caribbean and South America, they left out of the Elmina castles. They call them castles, we call them dungeons. So President Nana Addo felt very strongly that a city of return must be built in Cape Coast. So the children of Africa, descendants of the formerly enslaved, can complete the journey of returning back home. So just to answer the second part of your question, why Ghana? That is the second reason, is completion of the journey of return. So we can stand on the shores of the Atlantic in Cape Coast, look across the Atlantic towards the Americas, and tell the enslavers once and for all that while they may have won for over 400 years, finally, we are the ultimate victors. For the children of Africa would have come back, completed the journey to that very same soil that our ancestors stood, last set foot on the African soil before entering the door of no return as enslaved people. That is why Ghana, that is why we are blessed that ADDI was invited to partner with the Kingdom of Asebu to establish such a historic and much needed city, a city that's going to bring much healing to the children of Africa. So it doesn't matter if you get your DNA testing done and you're from Benin and you're from Cameroon, the Bamileke people, and we are not talking Cameroon, those are creations of the Berlin Conference. We're talking about your kingdoms. Regardless where your kingdom is, ultimately your ancestors, they left through the dungeons in Ghana. So yes, in addition to getting the land from the kingdom, it is also very fitting that we start in Ghana. From a historical perspective, it is fitting that we start in Ghana. The city of return, we're going to start with phase 1, which will be a welcome center, right by the beach, with a 500-bed hotel, 500-room hotel, 200 chalets, and 1,000 homes. A shopping center, waterfront activities. It's a true welcome center that we hope we can also, in addition to having the welcome center, we're going to be having pilgrimages once a year, where the children of Africa in the diaspora can make that completion journey back home, back to Cape Coast, where we can constantly be telling the slavers, cowards, you have lost, for we are home. The Welcome Center is going to be launched during our trip to Ghana, which is scheduled to take place between June 2nd, sorry, my apologies, December 2nd to December 13th of 2021. During the trip, we're also going to have a trade fair. The trade fair is going to bring hundreds of diaspora businesses and professionals together with hundreds of Ghanaian and other African businesses and professionals. This is what it's all about. Development of Africa is going to be anchored on our ability to trade with each other. Development of Africa is going to be anchored on our ability to come together as African diaspora and go home. Let's make no mistake about it, my brothers and sisters. Our Africa does not have the capacity Africa needs to build herself. This is why our leaders are looking to the Chinese and their finances and their expertise, to the Europeans and their expertise and their finances, to the Middle Easterners, to the Indians. Let's be serious about what we want to do with our Africa. If we do not come together and bring the expertise that we have in the diaspora, the Africa we want will never be built. They will build the Africa they want, which is an Africa that can always be exploited, which will be an Africa that they control. We are saying enough is enough. We want to be on the driver's seat. So in Cape Coast, we're going to build the first Wakanda One City of Return, which is going to be anchored on capacity building. The university, which is a center of excellence, and the hospital, teaching hospital, which is also a center of excellence. Both institutions are going to focus on capacity building, and capacity building. Ghana is a perfect example. There are more Ghanaian doctors in New York City alone than in the entire country of Ghana. Some of you may not be aware of that. There are more Nigerian doctors in Los Angeles alone than in the entire country of Nigeria. How then are we supposed to build the healthcare systems in our countries if the professionals are outside the country? That is our reality, my brothers and sisters. And we need to be serious about changing the kind of healthcare our fathers and mothers and sisters and aunts and uncles are receiving. We can complain about poor healthcare, and yet we're doing nothing about it. So Wakanda City of Return, there's going to be one in each region, and then the rest of the development will start from there. So yes, to the brother or sister who asked why Ghana? No, it's part of the strategy. The bigger strategy is to have one Wakanda City of Return, one per region, and then we keep rotating and getting into the neighboring countries until every country in Africa has a Wakanda One City of Return, which is where we will come together and make sure that we take the driver's seat for the development of our Africa. You don't go to China and find Black people driving the development agenda for China. You don't go to Europe and find Black people driving the developmental agenda for Europe. You don't go to the Middle East, to India, anywhere on earth. The only place that we must be on the driver's seat is Africa. It's just that simple. So if we choose to vacate that seat that has our name, that's up to us. But that seat belongs to us. And so far, we are not in control of that seat. Right now, the colonizers, they continue to occupy that seat. The Chinese have joined them. They're occupying that seat. The question is, I'm talking to you, African man, African woman. Are you okay with that? We are saying through ADDI, we're gonna push them over. We're going to let them know, you're a foreigner. Move over. For the children of Africa have risen. The children of Africa have woken up, and we're taking our seat. It belongs to us. And for us to successfully do so, for us to successfully have that spine, that backbone to stand up and say, colonizer, abuser, exploiter, step back. Stop it. Our minds must be clear. It all boils down to the mind. So as we undertake this journey to reclaiming our Africa as children of Africa in the diaspora, in collaboration with our brothers and sisters in the continent, I'm asking all of you to liberate your mind. So when you liberate the African mind, you liberate Africa. Right now, most of us, we are not ready because we are still very much sick from the disease of colonization. Let's heal ourselves. Let's understand that we're not inferior to anybody. Let's understand nobody is superior to us. We gave birth to humanity as we know it. As a Black woman, as a Black man, you are the mothers and fathers of humanity. You belong on the tallest pedestal. It is because of your position as the mothers and fathers of humanity that the rest of the world wants to put you down. They can't change it. We are who we are. We belong on the tallest pedestal. That's just all there is to it. So let's come together. Let's proclaim who we are. The proud, beautiful, intelligent, sophisticated, highly adaptable, and totally indestructible Africans. Let's join hands and commit to the unity of purpose and commit to healing our minds and freeing ourselves from the legacy of colonization and the legacy of slavery. Once we accomplish that, the rest of the journey will be easy. Once we accomplish that, we will no longer be used as instruments of our own self-destruction. The mind is where it begins. Heal the mind and you heal Africa. The journey of return to the city of return in Cape Coast, Ghana. We must realize that dream. That city must be built. The city will be built, and the children of Africa in the diaspora can complete the journey of healing, which is a must. It is an absolute must. I think it's a travesty that we're in 2021, over 400 years, such a position had not been taken yet. An attempt to bring our children home. We want to thank President Anado for taking that first step in building that city of return. And as ADDI, we feel privileged and honored, and we appreciate the kingdom for asking us to partner with them in building this historic city. And I hope all of you can also join us in making sure that this city becomes a reality. The city is going to be as good as we all come together. If we don't come together, then we have no one to blame but ourselves. Thank you all so very much. Please put on your calendars, December 2nd to December 13th. That's our trip to Ghana to launch the city of return. Lots of opportunities that are going to come up, lots of contracts that are going to be given. We want you to go on and sign up so we know who you are, where you are, so we can keep you informed of everything that we are doing, so you can be part of this historic movement and city that's going to be built. Thank you so much. Back to you, Sister Lee.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Madam Ambassador. And I always love that quote. And I noted that somebody also put it in the chat and said, we need to have it as a mantra, totally indestructible Africans. And thank you for making us all aware and giving us this opportunity Remember those dates from the 2nd to the 13th of December. Everybody is warmly welcome to Wakanda, the city of return. And there are so many opportunities. We're going to put in the chat the link to the website so that you'll be able to access and learn more about how you can participate. Thank you very much, Madam Ambassador. You are always an inspiration. Now, we're going to continue and discuss one of the most important topics when it comes to agriculture in Africa, and that is value addition to agricultural products. And we have none other than one of our very own, most, I would say, interesting and advanced persons looking at this issue, not only for a personal purpose, but also for a continental purpose. This is Dr. Emmanuel Tata. He is the CEO and founder of AfroBrains Cameroon. AfroBrains is a private company partnering with local farmers and youths in the farming of agriculture products and the transformation and preservation of the products to other forms using renewable energies. Please, Dr. Tata, the floor is yours and you have 10 minutes on the clock.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, that's right. Okay, thank you very much. I'm just going to share my screen, if you don't mind. Let me do that.
Super.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Today we talking value addition to agricultural products. This is the AfroBrains initiative, agribusiness, which is a model we're considering for the agricultural sector. The official website for AfroBrains, if you'd like to get more information, is as indicated on this slide. AfroBrains is an initiative that was initiated in 2017 to address some of the core challenges that face agriculture in Africa, precisely food insecurity, post-harvest loss, and of course, the creation of jobs. As you can see in the picture, there is so much waste, as you can see in the picture. This is a picture that was taken in Fumbot, Cameroon, which is about 300 kilometers from Yaoundé. And of course, the situation got actually worse with COVID-19. And on this other picture, as you can see, this is a picture that was actually taken in the northern part of Cameroon, which equally got worse with COVID-19. AfroBrains equally noticed that there was so much challenges, as previous presenter, my colleague Ngolia, had indicated, with packaging. Our packaging is not of standard that can actually compete or present itself in competition with packaging from other jurisdictions. The AfroBrains intervention was actually, or is actually, to establish a fabrication lab to build small machines. The idea is to be able to build small machines. Reminder, I'm an automation engineer working with a lot of automation engineers, training others back in Africa to produce small machines that can enhance. When we talk about small machines, talking about machines that can actually help local farmers in clearing, in probably tilling or plowing, and of course in planting. So that is investment in cultivation. And the AfroBrains intervention also includes the establishment of a multi-product food transformation unit, which has to do with the transformation of a variety of products. You know, most African farmers do not farm uniproduct as it is practiced in the West. In Africa, we mostly cultivate multiple products. So the idea of cultivating multiple products here is to avoid the situation whereby the factory is going to become idle at a certain during a certain period of the year as a result of the absence of raw materials. Lots of factories, it must be stated here that lots of factories have been observed to shut down in Africa as a result of the fact that they run out of raw materials. And I should state clearly here that as a result of research by the AfroBrains team, it is actually been noticed that any investment in Africa that has to do with transformation must be accompanied with proportionate investment in cultivation, without which that factory is going to run out of raw materials and will get into lots of challenges. Okay, packaging is also another area that was observed to require some investment, which is what AfroBrains did. And delivery is one of those, and of course, an online store, because young people want to buy their food online, sit home and receive it. Some of the machines that AfroBrains produces as of now include plowing machines, as you can see in the slide. We have plowing machines, clearing machines, and all that. These are machines we can actually produce, cast them in Africa. We also have some transformation machines, which we can also produce. Of course, food grade. When we talk about food grade, we're talking about 304 stainless steel machines. After the AfroBrains intervention, we have been able to produce a diversity of products, including oils, flours of different brands and different flavors and all that. So basically that is the AfroBrains initiative. And of course, like Her Excellency the Ambassador said, unity of purpose. You're all welcome to join us. I'm going to leave you with
Dr. Tata, for this very important topic, which is one of how do we handle value addition, but also how do we address issues of post-harvest losses. And I know that you're also very passionate about working with standards, and there have been some questions already in the chat around those issues. So we will look at those when we finish. We have 3 more short presentations, and then we will take some Q&A. And I look forward to having a very animated conversation with all the speakers. Now, our next speaker, I am delighted to introduce by way of a video. I'm hoping that it is going to work. This is us now moving from people who are a bit older to people that are much younger. I usually say that when I meet this young lady and I say, who would I want to be if I was able to go back to my youthful days and be as young as this young lady is? And I often think of Manis Nkata. So I'm really excited to introduce to you Manis Nkata, who will be showing and sharing with us her journey. So let me just get the video, please. If you give me some, just a minute or 2, and then I will be able to share this with you.
I'm a farmer, and I'm also
See now. So just bear with me. Sometimes technology is a little bit more complex than what one would like to have it do. So here we go, and let me know if you can hear.
farmer, and I'm also a young agripreneur. Sorry, this is my first time to be on the camera. I have a farm close to 100 hectares. We do processing of sunflower into cooking oil. We have a group of young people that they take our oil in bags. They go there, sell it, and put it as a markup. They're creating employment. I also process cassava tubers into cassava starch. I work with more than 4,000 farmers through contract farming. They are tobacco farmers. But these are the good alternatives. We don't take them as farmers. We take them as business partners. Apart from just farming, we also do these seedlings to mitigate the issue of climate change. You see these trees, you can sell millions, you know. I have over 100 cows. We do cross-breeding and we sell them. Livestock is money. It's important to promote young people in Malawi. Imagine if there are some young Malawians like me that they are also providing employment. They are our backbone of our economy. The strategy is to have a big land and mechanize the land, and we can feed the whole nation. So I'm saying support agribusiness. We can change our country, we can change the nation, we can change Africa. Watch out, give us space.
Did everybody get to see the video? Was it audible? Yes, thank you very much, Alpha, for putting the thumbs up. So our next speaker, let me welcome Manis Nkata, who is the Director General of Lakeshore Agro-Processors Enterprise, LAPE, and also Kakoma Estate in Malawi. Manis has an amazing CV that if I had to read, we would be here for the rest of the day. But she is from Malawi and she has a bachelor's degree in business administration. So I won't go into that. I will just have a conversation with Manis so that you can hear, you know, from the horse's mouth who she is. So Manis, very welcome. Please, is your video on?
Yes.
Thank you. So very welcome. So Manis, who are you? Can you tell the audience who you are, please?
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, Dr. Arikana, His Majesty Nana, and Professor Rinri Chiona, and also my fellow speakers. It's an honor and I'm so excited to be here, especially in the presence of my mentor, my role model, Dr. Arikana, Her Excellency. First of all, I would like to talk just a few about my video, but I also unmute my video because of my network problem. So please apologize for that. So as I'm saying, first of all, I would like to talk about a little bit of my video. As you saw in the video, first of all, I just want to say it's about the value addition approach, starting from the production, processing, and consumer, while working with smallholder farmers, especially women and youth. So this clip also demonstrates that Malawian youth can, if you have dedication, belief in your visions and commitment to implement ideas. So it is possible for a young person to do that in this world. So coming back to your question, as you asked me, who is Manis? Manis, I grew up in Malawi and I hold the bachelor's degrees in business administration from University of Malawi. I am an entrepreneur, I'm a mentor, I'm a youth community climate ambassador, I'm a job creator, just to mention a few. I have been implementing and managing projects for more than 10 years in Kagoma State, and also I partnered with mentors. Because of my achievements in working with young women and youth, through leadership programs. I'm also a current board chairperson for National Youth Council of Malawi. And also I'm the youth ambassador for Southern Africa Confederation of Agriculture Unions. As an entrepreneur, I help my community and my country to benefit from the products and services that I provide. I provide markets to rural farmers, which enable them to earn income. The money that they use to buy farm inputs, such as improved seeds, fertilizer, result in increasing maize field, just to mention a few. The profits from the small business that the farmers do, they used directly to buy their foodstuff, etc., which enable their wages to earn a purchase of food and other basic needs. I create jobs to so many women and youth. I employ more than women and youth on permanent and temporary basis, as machine operators, as job creators, to increase their income levels, which is by selling some of the products that they are engaged with. And I also worked hand in hand with more than 50% of women and youth in different activities, especially on contract farming. As you are aware, as Malawi, our population, over 65% are young people and they are unemployed. So the only way to engage them is just to provide them those works through agriculture. And I train youth and women entrepreneurs in food security, nutrition sector, water sector, and hygiene sector, forest and climate change mitigation as resilience strategies. I have represented Malawi, my country. I have represented young people in Malawi and African continent on youth entrepreneurship programs, such as Brussels Briefing, World Economic Forum, Brazil African Institute, and so National University, just to mention a few. These trainings that I've conducted in my life, meeting my mentors, meeting different young people and young women in the agriculture sector, has helped me to grow and to be where I am and to be how I look at agriculture. There are some intents on the agriculture sector that I looked after. Why did I join that sector, the agriculture sector, especially? It's not advertising to young people. When I was finishing my school, I tried to research for jobs, which I always admire when I was in the university. However, I realized that since I couldn't find any job that I wanted, I thought I might as well become an employer, which is I am today, and also make money. I realized the knowledge that I accumulated from the university together with the energy that I have as a young woman. I thought I should try to venture into agriculture, which will not need a panel of interview for me to have a job, but my own determination. Through research, I discovered that with a proper investment in agriculture could be the key for my achievement.
So Manis, this is really interesting that you're telling us how you were enticed into agriculture, that when you finished school, you realized that getting a job that you wanted was impossible. And so you created your own job. So what advice would you have for other youth in Africa when it comes to agriculture?
Thank you so much, Profi. The advice that I can tell my young Africans throughout the continent is that youth need to stop thinking and treating agriculture as a hobby for retirement. Agriculture is more productive and requires people who are energetic, and also will not happen when you hit in the 6 cities. Because at that time, your productivity becomes so low. So as young people, we need to learn to invest in agriculture, invest our time and our knowledge and our skills and go for commercial farming. But also, we do not have the spirit of wanting to do it. To do it all from production to the end user. We need to choose an area where you feel you can do better. Because there are a lot of young people, especially in my country, which are illiterate, but they know the agriculture production, especially the primary production. But we also have some youth that are graduates, that they know the technology, they know the know-how, that they can also do the value addition. So our aim is for the value additions. And also, we need to go for the good agriculture practices so that we should dub our youth on the same piece of land. Because I'll give you an example of Malawi. The Malawi agriculture and the land size is too small. You go for a 0.4 hectares, which is an acre, for you to grow everything there. So it is very important for the young people, since we are still energetic, to use the good agriculture practices. But also for the youth, we should be willing to work in groups so that we can easily access factors of production, such as capital. Capital being one of the crucial factors that young people are facing. We need to work as groups, as cooperatives, not individuals. But also, persistence is a crucial and willing to take a risk. Just because you are failed once does not mean you are a failure. Rather, it's just the beginning of the new way of approaching things. Most of our young people, they don't wait. We need to have a spirit of waiting. And also, the youth need to understand that the future millionaires will only come from agriculture sector. As I quote the president for African Development Bank, Dr. ADDI said, we can only get the future billionaires from the industry of agriculture, but also for the energetic young women and men. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love that. You know, the future millionaires and billionaires of Africa will come from the agriculture sector. I hope there are many young people as well as young, middle-aged people listening to this. And finally, if you have any recommendations, how could ADDI work with young people like yourself?
First of all, I would like to mention that I'm ready to support Her Excellency Dr. Arikana to promote ADDI. And also just to mention that I'm also very ready to travel as much as I can to Ghana, just to concentrate and also to help Ghana on the concept of what we are doing here in Malawi. We are all one. And also, I would like to say there is need to come up with an agribusiness strategy to guide the young people or the women agripreneurs in Africa in production, processing, marketing, access to capital and extension of services and business development. Should I come back?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm saying there's need, my recommendation to ADDI is there's need to come up with the youth or women agribusiness strategy to guide the youth agripreneurs or men, women in production, processing, marketing, access to capital, extension of services and business development. But also we need to work towards the value additions, which increases income levels to the farmers, which is the primary production. But also, the policies that are governing all aspects of food need to be harmonized, because in most cases, our policies are not harmonized. They don't speak to each other. And also, if possible, make sure that there is a strong partnership between private and public sector, which gives good platform for the development of agriculture in every country. I know private sector, they are the drivers of change, the drivers of economic development. So from the private sector and the public sector, it is very important for us to partner. But also there's a need to work with universities so that in that course, the entrepreneurship programs are emphasized in our curriculum, in our universities. But also, donors or well-wishers, or my fellow Africans, we should also directly co-funded young people, young women entrepreneurs at bankable business plans in their individuals, and there's also groups. And there's a need to find a way on how to advertise agriculture as a hidden billion for young people through social media, TV, and also using the role models like the young agripreneurs like Manes. But also use the youth agripreneurship mentorship programs, incubation programs, and also teach the young people about the importance of their skills, not only to look for capital. Lastly, I would say there's a need to provide a favorable environment for young people, especially women, who are the farmers, who are the ones that are doing everything that they can into agriculture, because that's the only way we can try and stay there. Lastly, as I said, to Her Excellency and also to you, Professor Rinley, to say, as Manes, I'm so ready and I'm very ready to help the ADDI for the mentorship program through the African continent and all the youth in agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manis. I love that hidden part where you say, advertise agriculture as a hidden billion for the youth through radio, through TV, through other youth agripreneurs like yourself. And this is what we in ADDI are really keen to do, to work with individuals like yourself who are so committed. And just as a secret to those of you that are here, it was actually Manis, when I met her, she was only 22 years old. And she asked me, Mama Lindley, do you have a farm? And I said, no, I don't have a farm. I don't think I have time to own a farm. And she said, every Malawian woman must own a farm. I'm going to make sure that I get you a farm so you can get farming. And without Manis today, I would not be a proud owner of a farm, and I would not probably have been as active in farming myself. So Manis, not only were you a role model, but you have also been so tenacious in going and keeping focused. And as you said, you couldn't get a job through interviews, but you created a job not only for yourself, but you also created jobs for others. And you have focused on seeing to it that the youth and women and so many other people, not only in Malawi, but also beyond, have been able to follow through in your footsteps and using the model that you have. So we are delighted as ADDI to have you on board and to work with you. And Ambassador, I don't know if you are there, Your Excellency, Ambassador? Yeah. Would you like to say some words? Because she directly addressed you when she was speaking, please.
Absolutely. I think that this is what we're talking about when you talk about the great minds that Africa has. There are millions of other young Africans just like her. Millions of young minds that need mentoring, that need support, that can go a long way with minimal financial support to change our Africa. So yes, we look forward to working with her, to joining with her as we move our agricultural sector forward. And yes, we hope we can have her join us in Ghana come December. So Sister Lindley will task you with making sure that that does happen. We would love to join hands with her in promoting agriculture and also particularly the agri-entrepreneurs that are emerging all over Africa. The beauty of agriculture is that it takes minimal intervention, minimal funding to empower these young people to do their thing. So yes, I think she would be great in helping us lead the subsector under your able leadership, Professor Lindley. If she could lead our youth agripreneurs program and mentorship program, so we can make sure that to the best that we can organize and strategize on how we can fund them to do what they do best. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And we will definitely be continuing the conversation with Manis and all the youth that have been putting their voices in the chat. We are seeing you, we're not forgetting you. And we just have two more short presentations. One is on organic farming, and the other one, last but not least, is on the ultimate African dinner plate. And then I hope you have your questions ready. We will just have a short session on Q&A, not longer than 30 minutes. So we will just extend by about—
Sister Lindley?
Yes,
Your Excellency. I have to leave. I have another program starting in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I won't be able to stay for the Q&A, unfortunately. You will have to handle that.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Now, what I would like to say, if you don't mind, if there are any with questions that are burning specifically for me, if you could allow them to ask them now, because I have a feeling after the two presentations, it'll be time for me to hop on to the next zone.
Okay. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Please, if you have any questions directly for Her Excellency, the Ambassador, and you would like to ask them, please use the raise your hand function, and we will be able to unmute you and ask you to then ask the question. Do we have any hands or any specific questions for the Ambassador? I see one. We can get started. Pilar, please, I'm asking you to unmute. You can unmute yourself. Yes, please. Pilar? Yes,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes.
Dr. Arikana, Your Excellency, I was wondering to put our monies together for ADDI to invest in agriculture, is that the $1 million project?
What's coming up, if it's for investment, we now have an entity called ADDH, African Diaspora Development Holdings. We're in the process of registering a fund. We are hoping by end of July, the fund will be fully registered. So you can then invest in specific SPVs. Agriculture, for example, is going to be a special purpose vehicle. ADDH is in the process of being registered in Ghana. Agriculture, the Kwame Nkrumah Farm, is going to be a sector, as SPV, special purpose vehicle. Once it's set up, ready for investment, we'll let you know, so you can invest directly into the Kwame Nkrumah Farm.
Okay,
There's going to be an SPV for hospitality, for the hotel and chalets that are going to be built. Then if you are interested in hospitality, you can invest in that. There's hospital SPVs, educational SPVs. The university is an SPV. So if you're interested in education, you can invest in that. So we will be rolling that out, all the SPVs in July, and people will be free to choose what SPV they want to invest in. So stay tuned.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, there was a Gitu. Gitu, if you can raise your hand again. I accidentally clicked on your lower hand. Thank you, Alice. Yes, Gitao, I beg your pardon. Please go ahead, Alice.
Hi, thank you for selecting me. Hello to everybody. I have a question for the ambassador. You just mentioned that you're working on projects and you mentioned Kenya as one of them for agriculture. However, I do know that the Kenyan government is currently putting in place rather punitive laws that focus or that target the local farmers there. So is there anything that ADDI will be doing about that or can do about that? I know, for example, they're putting laws against planting potatoes, mung beans, beekeeping. So is there anything that ADDI plans to do about those types of governments or those types of laws that restrict farming for Africans in their own countries?
What I can tell you is, as ADDI, we're apolitical. We work with the government that's in power. When it comes to some of those policies, I would want to understand why those policies are being put in place if they're punitive and go against agricultural development. I have not looked into that particular situation, but let's say it's a situation where there is need to have a dialogue with the Minister of Agriculture. Then once we are in the country, that's a conversation we can have, but not there to change policies of any country. ADDI is totally apolitical. We don't get involved in the politics of the country. What I can say, I find it interesting that the government would put policies that are punitive to the farmer. So I would want to look into that and understand the ramifications behind those policies. That I'll have to put a little bit more time into it. But in general, we don't interfere with the policies that the government is putting in place.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I see there are several hands, but in the interest of time for the last two presentations, I will only take two more questions and I will take them in the order that they came. So I have Jerry and then I have Jennifer. And then the other questions, perhaps we can take them later and we'll try to do our best to answer them. If we're not able to answer them adequately, we'll be sure to forward them to Her Excellency and get back to you. So please, Jerry, can you go ahead with your question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Your Excellency, Dr. Arikana. My question is, there's a database that you're developing for the ADDI concerning the different regions of the continent to be investing in. And I understand that the database is not completed yet, but what I wanted to know concerning that database, is there anyone that I could be connected to just have some questions about the different regions? I'm interested in thinking of what is needed for investment in agriculture area in Eastern Africa, like specifically Tanzania. So I'm just wondering, will the database break it down into, okay, the country of Tanzania needs maize, they need this grown, they need this, or they need that. Is this crop is best grown here? I was wondering, is it going to be a database with that information in it? Thank you.
The database that we are collecting right now is the database of individuals, as individuals or as professionals or as businesses. We are saying, in order for us to effectively communicate, we must know who we are, where you are, and what you do. Mm-hmm. First, that is the database we want. Where are you? What do you do? So when we then come out, for example, we are going to Ghana. We've already been in touch with the Chamber of Commerce. They've given us the listing of all the low-hanging fruits. Now, when we have a database, we then float it out to you. But without a database, how do we reach you? So we want everybody to go sign up and become a member of ADDI. So that way, as we move forward with our agenda, we do have a list of projects from Tanzania as well. But again, we need the database to know who among us is doing what. So as we build our movement, as we build the list of activities, we are constantly communicating. So level 1, sign up, join ADDI, so we know where you are, get involved, attend all these webinars that we give every weekend, be in the know. So that's where we are. But if you should have a specific question about a specific issue, Tanzania, we don't have offices yet. We are working towards that. Ghana is going to be our first offices. So for now, a lot of what we're doing, we're trying to push everything to Cape Coast, Ghana, because that's where our base is going to be. And as we open up other parts of Africa, the next one is going to be East Africa and then Southern Africa. But again, where we go first depends on which country gives us the easiest conditions to move forward. Just like in Ghana, His Majesty Nana Obokase, he has just really made it so easy for us to come into Ghana. It's not even funny. And so we're really grateful for all the help. And if we end up with a similar situation in Kenya, we have Kenyan diaspora who are organizing it. So I'm pretty sure it'll move very smoothly because it's a large group of Kenyans who under ADDI, Wakanda One State of Return in East Africa to be in Kenya. So they're working very hard to make that happen. So again, it just depends on who is going to create the most and easiest conditions for us to be there. So stay tuned, my brother. But if you have a specific question or you need a contact person in Tanzania, we can do that. We can help you put you in contact with somebody, but we don't have an office yet in Tanzania.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. And now for the final question, please, Geneva, unmute yourself. Please go ahead. We cannot hear you. Geneva, we cannot hear you speaking. Can you type your question in the chat, Geneva? We cannot hear you. So if you can type it in the chat, and then I can ask Her Excellency the question. Could you type the question in the chat? You cannot hear me either. Okay. So maybe we can take one last question from Austin. Austin, I'm asking you to unmute yourself. Please go ahead. Austin, please unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a registered paid member of ADDI, and I try to make donation every month. I need some clarity here. The Wakanda Expo, first of all, I understood that it was going to be August 27th through September 4th of this year. And today I'm also hearing that December 12th through December 13th. Are we having 2 expos in Wakanda for Wakanda Expo, or am I being confused?
No, the date has been moved. Initially, we were to go to Ghana without the expo. It was the launch for Wakanda One Seat of Return only. And when we added the expo, we felt we needed more time because the expo is more involved, and we wanted to engage the business community in Ghana, as well as a wider business community of diaspora, not only for us in the US, but also around the globe. We have a strong contingency out of China, out of Europe, out of Australia and New Zealand. So it was felt that because of the expo, we needed more time because the expo is more involved. So the date has been moved from August to December.
Thank you so very much, Ambassador Arikana. We love you. Yasantua, the living Yasantua. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. And also, actually, a lot of people felt that it was a good time in the sense that a lot of continental Africans do go home and they try to catch their tickets before the season begins. So they thought it was a good time. A lot of people might just take advantage, go home and stay for Christmas, go to Africa, that is, and stay for Christmas. So yeah, it was, so we haven't really published the brochure yet. We're hoping to have it out on our website by July 1st. Thank you, sir. Are you from Ghana? I can't hear you.
I don't see him, and I can't see. Please, the last speaker, if you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
That's better. Yes.
Yes. I was born in Ghana. I schooled in Kumasi. Went to London. I've been in the US since 1975. And I'm willing to come home and share my, experience and make Africa great.
Thank you very much. Welcome, my brother. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Ambassador, for giving us the opportunity, and the participants in particular, to ask you some direct questions and for you to take the time to respond to those questions. Thank you very much. I know that you will have to leave somewhere towards this program's ending, but I just want to take the opportunity to say thank you very much for being with us. And I wonder if you have some last words that you would like to share to the rest of the audience before you have to leave us. Please, Madam Ambassador.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, Professor. I just really want you all to know that I am so proud of the African diaspora who have stood up. I am so touched by the response that's coming from the diaspora. When I've asked for help, you all have responded in such a resounding way. Sometimes I just find myself shedding tears of joy because of the response that's coming from the diaspora. So I want to thank all of you for the support, and I want to thank all of you for standing up. I pay attention. I belong to a lot of your platforms. I hear the chatter. It's so refreshing to see the conversations that all of you are engaging in. All of you are slowly waking up, and the spirit of Pan-Africanism, I can feel it in those conversations in the various platforms. So I want to say to all of you, keep up the good work. Keep preaching that gospel of truth, the gospel of our history, the gospel of saying, no more shall we continue to be disrespected. So I want to thank all of you. Continue to build on that Pan-African spirit. Let's be proud Africans. We don't need validation from anybody. Let's stand up tall and let the world know that we are the Africans and we gave birth to humanity. So thank you all. Keep up the good work. Continue sharing that spirit of Pan-Africanism. We owe it to our children. Till we talk again, have a great weekend. And Sister Lindley, I am so sorry that I have to leave you, but I know I'm leaving everybody in good hands. You and Sister Sylvia and Sister Amira and Ola, you are the team that's driving this program today. I know we have Brother Thomas Hochu. I see him. He's always doing his thing in the background, posting messages. So I'm leaving you guys in very able hands of the leadership team of ADDI. Thank you all so very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much, Madam Ambassador. Thank you, and you too. Okay, so we now proceed to the last two presentations that are very important. One is on organic farming or organic agriculture. And I'd like to invite Prince Nasik Yadiel, who is a certified veteran organic farmer specialized on sustainability issues. He founded the Junior Agri-Eco Engineers, as well as the Restoration Village Farms and organic markets for youths in Ghana. So may I please invite you, Prince Nasik Yadiel, to have 10 minutes of your presentation.
Wow. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, I lost my screen.
Take your time.
Can you see me?
No, we cannot see you. We just see a Y.
Okay.
Maybe if you stop sharing and then you share again.
Okay, hold on. Here. We're back to meeting. Start my video. Okay?
Yeah. You are. We can see you now.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Okay, first of all, I would like the opportunity to say honor and blessings to the Creator who allowed us the opportunity to be here today with the breath of life. I also like to give my most grateful appreciation to Her Excellency, Ambassador Arikana, for blessing us with her wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, her experience imparted to us today. Also, shalom and blessings to all that are on this inspirational global webinar concerning the ADDI Initiative for Agriculture. I have 10 minutes, so I want to make the best of this 10 minutes. So please fasten your seatbelts because we're going to have an oral presentation called a bullet point. I would like to take the first 30 seconds to
We lost your audio. It's back.
We can hear you now.
Okay. When we hear this word agriculture, agri is really a prefix, English prefix that comes from the Latin root agere, which is a derivative of the word agrarian. So I'm really speaking about the organic agrarian ecological approach to sustainability in Africa. So shortly, I'm Dr. Prince Yadiel in Israel. I'm an organic agricultural consultant, project designer, management and training, 45-year plus experience in the realm. I'm blessed to work in several African countries since 1976, which includes Liberia, Benin, Ghana, Nigeria, Mozambique, Kenya, South Africa, the Caribbean, Jamaica, Antigua, US, and Northeast Africa, Israel, as we refer to it. Presently, I'm working on the ground in Ghana with the Restoration Village Project, which is in phase 1, which is 117 acres has been allocated for this project. Phase 1 is the agroforestry part of it. Phase 1 involves the trees for food security in combination with food crops, indigenous plus exotic. It involves the empowerment of women and youth as part of the overall vision for the Restoration Village Project. The offshoot of that project is the Junior Agri Eco Engineers Organic Markets Project, which is in the city of Sokokope, which is part of the Restoration Village Initiative. And there we are actually training youth in the methodologies of organic agriculture from A to Z, including open field agriculture, greenhouses, of which 2 they have actually built themselves under guidance and direction, and irrigation technology. So that's part and parcel of what I'm doing in Ghana presently. Moving on to the topic, I'd like to go through the fruit of the topic, instead of the meat of the topic, and go right to the bullet points and then come back and close out. So please bear with me. I have to read in order to accommodate the time. We should not see Africa as being underdeveloped. That's a statement. But as being miraculously preserved by the Creator to now become the center for producing sound leadership of the African family and providing the light for a new, ecologically sound social order. Therefore, we should be compelled to not only raise questions about the failed direction of the past, but also to chart the course for confronting the problems of today and inspire a new direction for the future of the African continent and our people. Moving right along, the next point. So I'm going to go to the bullet points. All of our development plans for Africa, even the nice sounding progressive ones, must be carefully scrutinized. Though some may believe there are those that are introducing modern development and medical care for humanitarian reasons, the end result is all too often the exploitation of a laboring population of our people and a population increasingly divorced from our own cultural practices, and thus a diminished sense of value in our nation. Overt exploitation is thusly concealed behind rhetoric and mechanisms that are increasingly more subtle and difficult to identify. The objective of the Wakanda vision actually is a restoration vision to make a success out of what we as African people have in control. Mind you, Africa's greatest wealth is its human resources. We must protect them, develop them, and structure production to reflect our needs. With proper planning and access of income over consumption expenditures will result from growing our own food, making our own clothing, and providing other essential necessities of daily life directly with our own human resources. Income can be generated by marketing produce and products and the establishment of service industries and apprenticeships. Moving right along. For instance, as I go through these bullet points, mind you, these bullet points are actually investment portfolios, meaning that these are actually areas where investors should donate or give money to develop these component parts of the ecological approach to development in Africa, which includes mining, forestry, agriculture, fishery, all of it entails our daily enterprises. So moving right along. We must promote research and development of the underutilized reservoir of indigenous knowledge systems, which is science and technologies, for the restoration of sustainable, viable African communities. This involves one, the establishment of indigenous pharmacological sciences. This is an institution. An indigenous pharmacological science institution will provide the basis for sustainable development and expansion of natural plant-based preparations for treatment and eradication of sickness and disease. In addition, IPS will be instrumental in synthesizing herbal plant nutritional supplements. These must be institutions. We have some, yes, throughout the continent, but we must now expand this approach. Next point. Indigenous agricultural systems or agrarian systems to be instrumental in reintroducing a variety of highly nutritional, ecologically adaptable, and high-yielding indigenous food crops. These food crops will play a role in not just mitigating the problems of hunger, malnutrition, and food security, but eliminating these problems. We must institute the institution of indigenous nutritional science. It should be developed and expanded in conjunction with the indigenous agricultural systems. The interfacing of these two systems will result in the creation of food products and beverages of exceptional nutritional value. These products will aid in the correction and prevention of nutritional deficiencies prevalent in many of our African communities today. 1 minute remaining? What? I thought I had 10. Okay. Moving right along, the legacy or what we want our children to inherit is not a legacy of degradation of the human resources and of the environment. Why do I say that? Because the model of the agricultural model, that is the conventional model that is being propagated today, right, is one that is leaving a legacy of chronic inflammation, skyrocketing diseases, and terrible degradation of the environment. So do we want to pass on to the next generation the legacy that in 1975 in the US, 1 out of 5,000 children were autistic? Presently, in 2012, it's 1 out of 36. If the present rate continues in autism, and this includes not just the autistic spectrum, but all of the degenerative brain diseases and nervous diseases that are happening, skyrocketing now, that by the year 2025, 1 in 3 children will be autistic. Now, that is the legacy of the model that is being perpetrated on Africa today. That's why I said in the beginning, we should not look upon Africa as being underdeveloped, but preserved from the legacy, right, of exploitation, degradation, environmental toxicity that's been being brought to Africa and our people and our environment. I really, at another time, be given the opportunity to just expand on all of this, but Afro brains and many of those that have expressed, right, the engagement of these activities. Remember one thing, the conventional agricultural approach started off with developing industries that supported agriculture, right? Afro brains is one. The mechanization of small implements for the farmer, right? The industry for organic inputs, the industry for crop protection, the industry for irrigation, industry for recycling waste into organic fertilizers, the industry for seed and seed production. All these are industries, but they also investment portfolios. So those of us that are looking to invest in Africa, we have portfolios to invest in. And in doing that, we are pushing the development of the organic approach to development in Africa. Galamsey, which is the illegal mining of gold in Ghana today, has destroyed 3 major water bodies, making them unsuitable for human consumption and for agricultural purposes. So we must approach mining ecologically, forestry ecologically, fishery. So it's not just agriculture, it's agrarian. It's an agrarian approach to the development of Africa, protecting the environment that sustains our lives and protecting our health. And out of these industries will create wealth. That is the power of land and people together. So if that ends my time that's allotted to me, I appreciate what you have given me on this forum. And if I'm blessed with the opportunity again to be able to engage our people, my people, I will be blessed. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Prince Yadiel, and to all those wonderful comments that are coming in the chat about give him more time, he needs more time. I just want to assure everybody that all the topics we have touched on today will be coming back as individual topics in the agriculture webinar series. This is just a buffet. This is just a taste of what is out there. And I'm sure many of you will also give us suggestions of topics. I've seen some have already done that we should cover. So do not be disappointed. And Prince Yadiel and I are very good friends. Today was just a taste of what is possible, what is out there, and how we can continue to have more deeper conversations around these issues. So Prince Yadiel will be coming back, as will the others as well. And we will be having specific webinars around these topics. As you can see, the time is running ahead and we have to be cognizant of that. We have our last speaker. And as I said, we will be coming back. In fact, at the end, I'll tell you when the next webinar will be scheduled for. So please, Sister Norma, our last speaker, who is going to continue along the same thread, the line that Prince Yadiel has been speaking about, feeding the mind, the health, thinking about the land, and thinking about what that food eventually becomes in our bodies, in our souls, and how we can create the ultimate African dinner plate. I'd like to welcome my sister and Professor Norma Lozano-Jackson. She's a retired professor from the University of South Carolina, but she's also the regional director for Latin America at ADDI. She's passionate about preserving indigenous traditional knowledge and cultures, especially those that are related to food and health. So please, Sister Norma, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sister Sylvia, and thank you all for allowing me to this short presentation. I am going to need, I have a PowerPoint, so if you can allow me to share screen. Can you hear me?
Yes, Amira, could you enable the sharing of the screen for Norma? I think you should have those rights, Norma.
I do. Okay.
Hang on.
Yes, I do.
Hmm?
Okay. So let me begin with my presentation with a very short background.
Could you go into slide mode, please, Norma?
Okay.
Slide mode, yeah.
Okay, I think I got that right.
No, it's still in, are you on a Macintosh? Yeah, there you go. Yes, now.
Okay. All right, so yes, so I'm going to be talking about the ultimate African dinner plate as Ambassador Her Excellency Arikana Chiomborikwa has requested that we call our dinner plate. And I start my presentation with a very short background on Latin America, which is where I am from. I am from Colombia, South America. And by the way, I wanted to make a correction on my little bio. Was not a professor at the University of South Carolina. It was the Benedict College, a historically Black university in Columbia, South Carolina. So that's a little correction that we'll make for the next presentation. But anyway, a background, the first enslaved Americans were brought to Colombia from modern day Congo, Angola, Gambia, Nigeria, Cameroon, Liberia, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Senegal, and Mali in the 1500s. They were brought to replace Native Americans who were often unable to resist Europeans' genocidal incursions into the Americas. And this is a map of Colombia, and I have highlighted here on the left, the Pacific region. And this is mostly a Black region in the country. All this, what we call departamentos, they're called states here. Chocó, and by the way, there's a Chocó in Ghana, and this is where I am from. Then we have three more states. And then to the right is the map of Colombia. We have both oceans, one at the Pacific and the Atlantic. And the enslaved people settled in the north area of Colombia, as my next slide shows. They came to the Atlantic coast and they formed maroon communities. When we can see here the Atlantic trade here, and then we can see where they landed in Colombia. From the 16th century to the first half of the 19th century, eating healthy for slaves meant being given or growing enough food to do manual labor in the plantation or in the mines from dawn to dusk. Fast forward to 1851, slavery is officially abolished in Colombia. By then, enslaved Africans, however, had brought their African customs, religions, languages, eating habits, and their farm knowledge. The diet of enslaved Africans, which sustained our foreparents for over 300 years, continued after emancipation up until today. Freed Blacks ate whatever they were able to get or to grow to stay alive. Food was energy, and the cheapest sources of energy were carbohydrates such maize, tubers, plantains, rice, etc., supplemented by salted meats and fish. Over here, I have a picture of some of the foods that were eaten at that time. And that was before refrigeration. Salt was the ubiquitous preservative, salted beef, pork, cheese, salted cod, or herring. All these are the foods that we ate during times of slavery. This change in the meaning of a healthy meal has developed over the last 150 years, concurrent with the change in occupations and industries over the same period. For example, in the US, farm employment declined from 74% in 1800 to 8% in 1960. And in manufacturing, employment declined from 32 to 11% between 1960 and 2015. The same calories that gave the worker the energy he or she needed to the farm and manual labor gave that worker overweight or obesity when he moved from the farm to the office building. Africa, sorry, back. Okay, so over here we have a slide, and I'm showing, saying, should we be worried about what we eat today in Africa and in the diaspora? Is it the food or the proportions? Let us try to answer this question as we build an ultimate African dinner plate. So we have here Africa on the left and Pacific region of Colombia on the right. And then Africa, rice, you have rice on the right, tubers, variety of yams, cassava, potatoes, etc. is exactly the same tubers, variety of yams, cassava, potatoes in Colombia. Wheat, corn, white, yellow as well. Plantains, green, yellow, bananas, and plantain, green, yellow, bananas. Smoked salty beef pigs, alifu, cabbage, lettuce, spinach, lettuce, cabbage. Beans, red, white, black pinto, black pinto, white. Animal, eggs, chicken, beef, pig. Animal, eggs, chicken, beef, pig. And over here we have today, eating healthy almost means eating for longevity rather than for the energy needed for manual labor. On the left, this is a typical Colombian dish, and it consists of, you can see the fried plantains, the beans, an egg, rice, and sausage, a piece of meat, and a big piece of pork, accompanied by a piece of avocado. To the right is what could be a little bit closer to a healthy meal. You have the shredded beef, you have the vegetables, you have the beans, and you have the rice. This shows a picture of the very common dish in Africa and Nigeria, Ghana, which is jollof rice, peppers, and alifu salad, closer to the Colombian dish. Then we have a typical dinner plate also in Colombian Pacific: cassava, corn, rice, fried fish, salad, juice. You see all the carbs here on the left, and then you see the fried fish on the right. Over here we have fish, and this is banku, a Ghanaian dish, accompanied by some sauce and onions and green peppers. And this is a simple but complete protein meal: rice and beans, which is very popular in Latin America. We eat a lot of rice and beans in almost all our meals. This is a dish from Colombia, which is called scrambled eggs, with eggs stir-fried with onions and tomatoes, and they're accompanied by fried green plantains. You have gari with eggs and plantain. Also, we have the carbs here, and you can see it on this picture, and corn in all forms. We have the corn on the left, it's called choclo, it's young sweet maize kernels, rounded, wrapped and boiled in corn husks. And on the right, we have again the fried empanadas made of fried fresh corn, fried cheese, dough, seasoned meat or chicken. Over here in this picture, we have another plate which consists of rice, carrot, salad, banana, cassava, beans with sausage, rice, beef, and fruit juice. One of the things that you always find in Colombia, we don't drink sodas. We always drink juice, fruit juice, fresh. At least we have that, besides the rest of the bad diet that we have. For our ultimate dinner plate, the food that is consumed today in Africa and in the diaspora is unhealthy, not so much because of the types of foods that, as for the three related factors. One is the total amount on the plate. Two is the proportions of food types. Then three, processing, fried versus baked, fresh versus packaged, salt versus other spices. And then we have the two samples here. This one is a diet pyramid that I found on the internet. I was curious to see how they promote the dairy here and the fish and the beef. And this is called the African Heritage Diet Pyramid, and it is on the internet. And this is also by the Ministry of Health in Colombia. This is called the Plato Saludable, which means the healthy plate. And then you can see also the dairy products on the left. It takes 1/4 of the whole plate, promoting health, milk and dairy products, which of course by now we know that the lobbyists are always worrying about bringing all that into our diets. Okay, in closing, there are over 7 billion people on the earth, and the destruction that our present has caused has led some scientists to say that we're living in the Anthropocene era. Our big brains have made it possible for us to live and thrive everywhere on earth, but our tight hearts have allowed us to do so while destroying much life, including that of other humans. The enslavement of Americans and the genocide of indigenous peoples would not have been possible without human inhumanity. Africa and her diaspora have the opportunity to lead the way towards a plant-based ultimate African diet that breaks the 500-year-old cycle of exploitation, slavery, and death, which, as Rodney King pointed out, led to both the depopulation of Africa and the enslavement of the people. Now, through the ultimate diet, a plant-based diet, Africa can teach the world how to live not by might is right, but by the recognition that a plant-based diet will provide for a healthy and tasteful meals without putting such a great strain on the earth's plentiful but not limitless resources. And thank you for your attention. That's my presentation.
Thank you very much, Norma, and thank you for these very enlightening reflections around, the whole aspect of the African diet, but also taking us all the way back to slavery and then to the transportation, not only of our people, but also of our foods and even our farming and food crops that were grown in Latin and Central America, which have formed the major diet of the people there, particularly, as you mentioned, in the Choco area. And the key things you mentioned about thinking about more about the portion sizes and thinking about the preparation of the food that we have and how much we consume and when we consume are key issues quite closely linked with the last presentation that Prince Yadiel had in his presentation about where does the food come from and how do we grow that food and what does it do to our minds and to our health and to our bodies. Again, I just want to really say thank you very much to all the presenters and the speakers and to you, the participants, for having put up with more than 3 hours of sitting here and listening, but also chatting very actively. I've been observing the chat and I'm really grateful to all the comments. We definitely need to have more of these conversations, and we are truly delighted that we are going to be having another session very soon. So in the interest of time, are there any burning questions that you wish to ask the presenters, burning questions, because we will be having another webinar on agriculture and it's coming up very soon. It will be scheduled for the month of August. Any burning questions? I see I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 hands. Are there any more burning questions? Otherwise, I will close once I take the questions from the 4 hands that are currently up right now. Any more questions? Raymond, I see you put up a hand. Yeah, that's it. Now, I stop at Gail Marie Scott. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions. And that's it. And then, as I said, we will be having another webinar. So please do not feel that we are not respecting you and taking your questions. We will have several webinars where you can ask more questions and we will go in depth into these issues. So please, Antonia, you had your hand up. All right. Oh, sorry. Unmute. Yeah. Please unmute yourself again. Thank you. Yes.
All
please.
right. Good evening to everyone. Thank you for having me.
Sorry, Antonia. Could you please state to whom the question is being posed to the speakers, so
Sure.
that we're efficient in the use of our time? I'll
No
take 3
problem.
questions to begin with, and then we'll take the last.
So the question would basically be posed to everyone, because this has to do with supply chain. In all efforts with agriculture and everything, I'm coming from the Caribbean islands, and it's something that I've seen that no one has really paid attention to, is the movement of goods and raw materials. So even though we would love to do business as a diaspora here in the Caribbean, our major problem is the movement of the goods via shipping, be it by sea or air. And that's an area where no one is into, and the cost of us moving those goods. Currently, I try to bring stuff from Africa, and I would like to invest more, but the cost of moving of these products, it is so high. When it gets here for resale, it is extremely high when it comes to the supply chain. So in terms of anyone who is on the panel, as we're speaking about agriculture, we in the Caribbean here, we purchase a lot of products from other countries, but one of the driving force behind it is the cost of moving these materials. So yes, I would like to purchase cassava, tomatoes, all of this we purchase from South America, all these big farmers. Why are we not purchasing from Africa? Is because of the cost of the movement of these goods. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Antonio. Can I ask Ngolia to please take note of that question and have a response? And I don't know if we still have Dr. Tata on, because it's right in the middle of the night over there. And so Ngolia, please, that will be your question. And then I take the second question. Gail Marie, please, I'm asking you to unmute.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I've loved every single one of these ADDI events. The only thing I would like to recommend is that I'm able to request a Zoom meeting with the team and with anyone, basically, but first the team, to present medicinal mushrooms, organic medicinal mushrooms. We can all talk whatever we want to talk, but if we're not healthy, and if our body's not self-healing with natural organic substances, you know, you can have all the money you want, but if your health is not your first wealth, that's an issue to me. So my first #1 thing, even though I'm part of the Wakanda team, Wakanda One team, I'm not an engineer or an architect, but I am an integral part of that beautiful team. And they encouraged me to get on this platform and to ask for a Zoom meeting with the panel so that I can present with my mushroom team here in Southern California, our plans to go globally and build massive indoor grow facilities that are the mushrooms. Our mushrooms are not like any other mushrooms on the planet Earth, because they've been taken from the wild since 1971 and brought into fruition now, where they actually work very well organically on the body. And so I'd like to present that. And my team was unanimously, hands down, present this immediately. So I'd like to do that, and that's all I have to say. I just want to say thank you, and I want to do no harm to Africa. I want to do no harm. I want to be able to just bring the best, the creme de creme for Mother Africa.
Thank you very much, Gail Marie, and I have taken note of that. I think we should definitely get together with the health sector, Dr. Kajila. So if I will put, I think our email is there, and I'll put my WhatsApp number so you can get in touch with me directly. Thank you. Next question I see is from Phyllis. Phyllis, please unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much today for such a wonderful, wonderful presentation. Everybody did a great job. We talked about packaging and entrepreneurship. My position actually relates to the young lady, Alice Gitto, who talked about Kenya restrictions now on farming. And I felt compelled to offer this comment to her about boycotting the embargo, if you will, on farmers being able to plant food. I don't endorse any, political statement on behalf of ADDI by making these statements that it's very important for the whole Africa, including the diaspora, to realize that the starvation of our people is as a result of these embargoes on our ability to plant our own food. You can look over at Somalia for the last 30 years, 40 years, we've seen images of complete starvation because Somalia has also faced the same embargoes, if you will, on their ability to plant and grow their own food. So to Alice Gitto, who raised this question about what ADDI is going to do or can do, Alice, you need to be that person who steps up to say, we're going to boycott the restrictions and start planting and resist it, because I can tell you now that Kenya doesn't have a military might to stop all these little tiny farmers from planting and revolutionizing the protest against the government, prohibiting the planting of mung beans and other things that Africa needs to feed itself. So that's a very important platform. You've got to take the torch. You've got to make it happen. And that would be my comment. And thank you for letting me voice that today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Phyllis. And we go to the next questions because yours was a comment. So I'm asking Robert, please, can you unmute yourself, Robert? And please state who the question is for. Robert, please.
Thank you, Professor Linley. Mine is a comment and also thanking everyone who has been here. It's been great. I just wanted to kind of chime in on the issue around standardization and issues around ensuring that we can be able to work together on technical standards and certification of products, so that we can be able not only to have products that can be available in the regional markets, but also the international markets. Because as you very well know, products coming out of Africa are challenged because sometimes they are not seen like they are of international standards. So we are working together through various affiliates of ADDI to form a group that would be working on standardization and especially accrediting the certification bodies that will evaluate these products to meet not just the African standard, but also the international standards. So I just wanted to comment on that, just to assure that we'll be working together as a working team to develop those standards. Some of them have already been developed, and so we will be sharing the ideas that we have, both what we have come to know as part of our international standards organization, ISO. We have a working team that is developing those standards, not just on good manufacturing practices, but also on good agricultural practices that meet international standards. Thank you so much, Professor Linley, for a very, very good presentation here. And we look forward to the next one where we'll be able to even give much, much more information. Perhaps I can see our other person from Kenya, Professor Lucas Jenga, may also add a little bit more information on the Wakanda, on the proposed Wakanda City projects that we have in Malindi, Kenya. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prof. Robert. And I know you have asked if Professor Lucas could add something. Professor Lucas, I'm asking you to unmute, please.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. It's been an amazing webinar today. A lot of good information, very, very helpful contribution from all the people who have contributed. Just before I talk about Wakanda proximity in Malindi, I just want also to say that we are large-scale farmers. We being part of the European diaspora back in Africa. We are doing large-scale production of pineapples and cassava. We've been exporting to Israel, to the Middle East, and we're preparing to export into the United Kingdom. We are organic farmers, so it's all natural. Yes, somebody commented about the logistics and the cost of taking the food to the market, but I really like the two presentations that happened, one from Yadel and the other one from the professor, I've just missed her name, that talked about the plant, the African plant food for healthy eating. And I believe that if we are really committed to this as a group of ADDI, we could support products coming from our countries and also increasing the volumes so that it's competitive, investing in the various forums that we have been given to make it possible. Going back to the Wakanda proximity Malindi, we're really working hard in line with what the rest of the ADDI is doing to ensure that we give people very good options for return cities, which are not just residential facilities, but economic powerhouses with great trade opportunities and business capacity, empowering not just those of us who are returning to the continent, but also empowering the communities that we work with. So I'm very, very excited about this possibility under the leadership of Her Excellence, Arikana Chiombori, and also for the entire ADDI team, which has come to support and to ensure that we are fulfilling our mission. So thank you very much for all the presentations. I'm very much into the organic agriculture, but I'm also very much into increasing the food basket of healthy lifestyles from Africa. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Njenga. I see I have 3 hands that are remaining. Are these comments or specific questions to the speakers? Because I want to close in the next 3 to 5 minutes. Raymond, is that a question or a comment?
It's a question.
Please go ahead and who are you addressing the question to?
To anyone who can answer.
Okay, please go ahead.
My question is it possible to focus on indigenous heirloom African foods? My understanding is corn, cassava are not indigenous or heirloom to Africa. Banana is not either, but we can work with banana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Raymond. And I'm going to pose those questions to myself as well as Angolia and anybody else in the room. And I see 2 more last hands, and that is Austin. And the other one I cannot read because I don't know what language that is. I'm not very literate in that language. So you have to tell me who you are. Austin, did you have a question or was it a comment?
Yeah, it's a question quickly. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to confirm the new Wakanda Expo date in December.
Sorry, the dates again?
Just want to confirm the new Wakanda Expo date in December.
Yeah, the dates are from the 2nd to the 13th of December.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And now the last person who has a question. Oi, please.
That's in.
I don't know.
That's in Hebrew.
Oh, okay. So
the language is Hebrew.
Okay, it's Hebrew. Sorry. And who is the person, or have they put down their hand? I don't see their hand anymore. Okay. So, Ngolia, are you there? There was a question on supply chains, please. Ngolia? Ngolia, are you there? No. Franklin? Franklin.
Can you hear me?
No,
this is
hold on.
Akko. This is
Yeah.
Oman, the one with the Hebrew name up.
Yeah, could you just hold on? I'll get back to you. Franklin.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
Franklin.
Lily, I'm here.
Yes, could you please address the issue of supply chains?
Yes, so the one with the high transportation costs, right?
Yes, please. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so I think those are an important thing we will have to kind of dive much into. So in terms of cost, it depends on the route where the airlines normally use for such travels or such transportation. So to me, I think it's something we would have to investigate more into to see the possibility of ADD that is ADD Holdings, investing into such venture, right? And this will can only be done if a cost-benefit analysis is done, right? Because there's more of a commercial venture, and the ADDH is into commercial investments. So to decide whether or not to go into that venture, we will need a financial team to help us with such an analysis, because it's kind of up the ladder of the agriculture supply chain, which now dives into transportation, right? So I think more research needs to be done to check the various options available to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Franklin. I see Ngolia could not unmute himself. Ngolia, would you like to add anything to that?
Yes, please, Linley. I think one of the big challenges we have with logistics between the Caribbean is the volumes of products. And that's something we want to address with ADDI. It's also one big problem with Africa, actually, to Europe. Often when we want to get constant supply, when we ask big supermarkets, the big purchasers, they would like a guaranteed volume every week. Like, would you be able to supply 10 tons per week? So I think that's something we want to address in ADDI and study various value chains, see how we can profitably export, ship products. And I particularly like a question by Anita Hall. There is very little trade between the Africa and the Caribbean, actually. That's something we are looking at very much in ADDI, to study it, as my colleague Franklin has said, to see where are the bottlenecks, how can we profitably invest in agriculture that adds value at the same time lowering cost. But I think we don't have enough time to go into detail, but I would just say that for now.
And we will definitely take it up as a key discussion point in an upcoming webinar. And just Raymond, on your question about focusing on indigenous and traditional foods, I think this is an area which even the UN dialogues on the food systems summit, which is taking place this year, has addressed this key issue of focusing on traditional indigenous foods. And yes, I think one of the key problems has been that many of the nutritious traditional indigenous foods have been labeled with such negative terms, such as lost crops, orphan crops, terms which don't really give them that prestigious position. But also the other thing is that, crops like maize, they were readily brought into Africa, adopted because they were cheap, a source of energy for the labor that was required to work in the mines, for the labor that was required to produce the goods and services that had to return to the colonizers. So we have a lot of work to do, having said that. And yes, cassava is not indigenous to Africa, but the important thing is to see how it has been adopted. It is processed and prepared in very traditional methods that were used for indigenous crops like yams. So maybe it's not so much the fact that we have adopted some of these crops from the New World, but it's how we prepare them, how we process them, how we consume them, as Professor Norma said, it's also about the quantities and the combinations on the plate. So we need to think more about the plate, which is providing us that good health or good nutritional outcomes, because without doing that, there is no one food that is a super crop or it's a superfood, but it's the combination that creates that, good balanced nutrition and the outcomes that we would like. And I know Sister Salome is working a lot with community gardens and good eating habits in her community in Maryland. And that will be another presentation for another webinar, looking at how food can also be medicine, how food can also contribute to mental health and well-being. So thank you for raising that question, Raymond. And finally, I think we are going to close, but my brother I didn't get your name. I put you on hold. I'm going to unmute you. This is the last question and comment, and we close for the day. So please, your question.
Hey, peace, everyone. My name is Oman, so it's in Hebrew. I just had to I want to ask Nasik Yadiel a question. And my question was, what is one thing that people the world over, not just Africa or wherever we are, all over this webinar, what is one thing that people the world over can do practically as an action in their lives that can dynamically help change the direction of the planet in a redemptive way?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will give this question because it was so nice in general. You've given me a very good segue into closing. So I'll give it to all our speakers to please give their final words and comment with respect to this last question. So in no particular order, if I can start with Professor Norma Jackson, because the last question about indigenous foods ties in very well with you. And then please prepare yourself, Manes, and thereafter Prince Yadiel, and then Dr. Tata, I think he's probably left us, and then Ngolia, please. So in that order. So please, Professor Norma Jackson. Do I need to unmute you? Please, Norma, I'm asking you to unmute. Yeah, please go ahead. Norma, are you there? Okay. I'm asking you to unmute. No, she's not there. Okay, we proceed to Prince Yadiel.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, please. Go ahead. Please, go ahead.
We should begin to approach consciously, focus on the condition of our personal health. And that means that we should be conscious of the types of foods that we eat, the manner that we eat them, and how they are grown. It was stated that true wealth begins with excellent health. And without a healthy population, there can be no true development of a nation. So we are individually responsible at the baseline for our health. So the choices that we make in our life should be healthy life choices. And with healthy life choices, that can turn the paradigm of sickness and disease around. And that would produce the type of human resources that we need as productive citizens to develop and restore our continent and our people and our land.
Thank you very much, Prince Yadiel. And Manes, you are next. I'm asking you to unmute. Manes? Manes, are you able to unmute yourself? No? Okay, we move on, and I move on to, oh yes, please go ahead, Manes. Yes, go ahead, yes.
Can you come again on the question?
Yes, so it was a general question from our colleague, and I basically about where to, next what to do, but also based on your expertise and your experience, what are your final words to the audience today? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. I think women and young people, especially the indigenous women, and my fellow farmers. They are my heroes. I'm looking forward to help and promote the healthy eating because we are the ones on the primary production. So healthy eating starts from the primary production, which is the farm. So I would encourage my fellow young people and women all over the world, Africa, to help us, to help the country, to help the global continent of Africa in healthy eating. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manis. Short and sweet and really helpful. Do I have Dr. Darko? Are you still available or you had to go to your other event? Dr. Darko, are you there?
No, he's not around.
He's not around. Thank you. And Ngolia, please. Ngolia, are you still?
Yes, thank you, Lily. I'm unmuted now.
Please.
I just want to conclude that urging everyone to join ADDI. It's a good brand. And I think we should really focus on organic production. Africa has got a very huge niche in organic agriculture. If you ever, for those of us who live in the West, you go to the supermarket, the most expensive eggs, the most expensive vegetables are organic. Africa, we have natural conditions. We have the 65% of arable land. And I think through ADDI, through, if all became good and, paying members of ADDI, we can really develop a world brand that actually can regain the respect. I don't know, many of you, whether you've read the Africa 101 by Ambassador Arikana Chiombori. That is a book that I read and became very sad. I said, we have to do something about Africa. We've got to get respect for ourselves. And it's working hard, not leaving everything to Ambassador, but all of us contributing to make sure that these organic products land on the tables of ordinary people in Africa and as well as in the diaspora. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ngolia. And I see a lot of wise words that are coming in through the chat. And yes, you're right. Had the ship that Marcus Garvey, promised that we'd be able to take everybody back home, or it would be able to, move our goods back and forth between the different continents. Yes, it would be a wonderful thing. So we can do it. So, Sister Norma, you are having the final word for this evening. And please also take the opportunity to close.
Thank you so very much, Sister Lindley and everybody. And thank you for staying with us for the entire program. I just wanted to reiterate the importance of us continuing to promote healthy eating habits. And as I said in my presentation, it is not that the food that we're eating that were brought up by the enslaved Africans to the so-called New World. It was simply the proportions of the food and the combinations of the food. So we continue to eat organic food, and we can continue to eat the nourishments that we have so plenty of in our countries. In Colombia, for example, we have problems with transportation from the areas that are remote. We have lots and lots of products, but we cannot move them out to export because of road issues. And also beware of free trade agreements. We had a free trade agreement with the United States in 2000, I think it was 2005 or 4. And since then, all our farmers have gone bankrupt, let's say, because they cannot move their products. The subsidies that the United States offers to their farmers, we cannot compete. They cannot compete with those prices. So beware of those so-called free trade agreements. Now we import things that we always grew, the food for consumption for the country. Now we're importing potatoes and plantains and things that we grew in our backyard. So beware of that. And join ADDI. As some of the other speakers mentioned, this is the greatest opportunity that we have to make Africa great, and to not only Africa, but the entire world. And I'm including our brothers and sisters from Latin America. Thank you for staying with us. Some of our friends from Latin America, Olga, Gladys, and Miriam, even with the language challenge, not able to understand most of it, but you stayed until the end, and thank you so much. Thank you, Sister Linden. Thank you until the next time.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you to the team, and goodbye. You can unmute yourselves if you want to chatter now. We are off and we are saying goodbye, and thank you so much. Yeah. Bye-bye, everyone.